Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Grind. Uh-oh. Racing grind. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every second by a strand. Fuel and tires, quick change. Back to track and destined range. Oh. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every
Ladies
second
and
by a
gentlemen,
strand.
boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Kansas Speedway. This is the elimination race that we've all been waiting for. The first elimination race here of the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs as these drivers get ready to rock and roll. They get ready to rumble here in just a few more moments. We're going to get a good look and see these drivers duke it out, battle out there on the speedway, each and every single one of them looking for a championship, looking for, a potential berth into our Premium Stock Car Racing League's second round of the playoffs here, in which case it's just going to get tougher and tougher and tougher to work your way on through into our NASCAR playoffs here with the amazing league that is the Premium Stock Car Racing League. As we'll get ready here, we're going to be doing a little something special before the festivities get underway here this afternoon. We're going to be pulling in a few of those drivers that are on the cut line here, that are on the outside of a transfer spot looking, and you get a great shot right there. Obviously, we got Matthew Wood and Brian Underwood already picking up wins here in this first round. They've advanced into the next round. They don't really have to worry about points. They don't have to worry about stages. They don't have to really worry about any of that stuff, but obviously, we know Wood and Underwood are both going to be looking to get those stage wins, trying to earn themselves the extra points, the bonus points, then carry throughout our playoffs into that final race. So they're going to be looking for those extra points here this afternoon. So Josh Crider sitting there pretty comfortable. Same with Thomas Horvath and Landon Burbage, maybe even Applegate and Chris Stange feeling fairly comfortable there. And then you see Dylan Carrier. Carrier is one of those drivers that's just into the next round. It's currently only 1 point separating himself and Jordan Hand here for that final position in the round of 8 here this afternoon. So it's anybody's race, and I mean, with the points that are allotted through stages and everything else, it could be a pretty big mix-up. We could see a driver like Chris Stange fall back farther, or Grant Applegate, Landon Burbage. None of those drivers that are in the yellow or in the orange are at risk of potentially, could make it or lose it here this afternoon, finding a win or an accident early on or anything else. They could get tied up in something like that. As we'll get all these drivers in here, we're going to get our bottom 4 in here. So Jordan Hand just on the outside looking in, and now minus 32 points here for Noah Blackwell. William Connolly there, minus 33, and Chris Getz, minus 83. Getz is in a must-win situation, and honestly, I think Connolly and Blackwell have got to be feeling that exact same pressure. They're in a must-win situation as well here. They know they need to get out there and pick up as many points as possible, be able to give themselves the big break that they may need. If Dylan Carrier or Jordan Hand run into issues, it could potentially be between the two of them. So it's going to be a lot on the line. It's going to be very stressful for a lot of these drivers trying to navigate through traffic, trying to work their way to the front of the field, and trying to put themselves into a position to pick up one of the final positions here in our round of 8. So we're going to pull in Jordan Hand, Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, and Chris Getz up here into the broadcast booth here. A little pre-race interviews here. So let's go with Jordan Hand. He's only 1 point out. Let's pull Jordan up here into the booth. Hey Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, man, 1 point outside of a playoff position looking in, man. We know we've talked to you a few times about just, trying to run your race, trying to play the strategy out, but what are you going to do here to solidify yourself into that round of 8 here after this race?
Try to get as many points as I can. These first 2 stages, just take that mentality, just run my own race and see what happens. But if we get to the end there, if I got to wreck somebody, I'll wreck my own mother to win.
Absolutely, brother. So you gotta work your way in. You gotta keep yourself out of the carnage here. How you feeling coming into Kansas? Do you think you got that car that can do it? Do you think you got the setup that could put yourself into victory lane here this afternoon and potentially lock your way in to the next round?
If Matthew wasn't here, sure. I was kidding. But I mean, I'm good at Mountain House. I'm sure I'll be all right. It's just these are just one of those tracks that I think the first probably 10, 15 laps is going to be nose to tail, and just hopefully no one does anything crazy. And if you can avoid the craziness and get away with it, you'll be all right. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there. Hopefully you avoid all the craziness, and hopefully we see a close finish right down to the very end, and maybe see you back up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the evening.
I look forward to it, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Mr. Jordan Hand. His hand out there on the racetrack. He is ready to get rocking and rolling here. He is ready to play this afternoon. His hand coming home there. One spot outside of a transfer spot here. One spot out and trying to work his way in. Underwood coming in as well. Mr. Brian Underwood says, gets is eliminated. Can't point in. Winning in only counts with full participation. Oh, no. So, Chris missed last week, so Chris is eliminated. That's why he's in the orange. So unfortunately for Chris Getz, he's the first driver out of our premium stock car racing league playoffs here this year. So a tough break there for Chris Getz, the first one mathematically eliminated here this afternoon, meaning that Noah Blackwell, William Connolly could potentially work their way in. As we'll get ready, we're going to pull in Mr. Noah Blackwell right now for his pre-race interview. Hey Noah, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got a copy.
No, man, sitting quite a ways back outside of a playoff advancement here, man. What's the goal this evening? How do you work yourself into that round of 8? Do you feel like it's a must-win situation, or do you think with some stage points and a little luck on your side, that maybe you can point your way in?
I would, if I don't get the win, I would have to win every stage, I think. So, I have to get the win, or I'm not making it to the next round. But I've had to overcome a lot, so maybe I could overcome this. I don't know the speed of Matthew and Landon. Yeah, I gotta wreck him or something.
Absolutely, they're definitely very, very fast, but I know that beautiful number 9 ride's going to be hooked up here this afternoon. How are you feeling coming in here to Kansas, knowing that some tough racers, some tough battles going to be had here this evening, and at the same point in time, you're battling here to try to keep your playoff hopes alive?
Well, I'm not gonna panic because if I gotta take it easy. If I panic, I'm gonna end up wrecking stuff. So I gotta take it easy and just take one stage at a time. We get in front because of strategy. Clean air, I think, is gonna mean a lot, though.
Absolutely, brother. Well, patience is key out there on the speedway, and hopefully, patiently, we'll see you up here at the end of the evening, potentially in victory lane or up here for some post-race interviews.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Good luck out there and have some fun. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Noah Blackwell. Blackwell currently sitting outside of a playoff position here, 32 points out, and we're going to pull in a driver who's 33 points out here, William Connolly. Connolly waiting patiently down pit side. We're going to pull him up into the booth as well. Hey, William, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I do.
William, man, sitting 33 points outside of a transfer spot coming into the afternoon, brother. How do you feel coming in here to Kansas? What do you got to do? How do you got to put yourself into a situation to maybe advance in to the next round of our playoffs?
Somehow win or hope they mess up. Basically, I had the races I had before. I got a fourth at the Glen, and I got a fourth at the last track. So I just don't have the stage points because just silly stuff. So just have to win or hope they mess up.
Absolutely. definitely preying on a few other drivers' downfall here this afternoon. William, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for William Connolly. William gonna be quite a ways back there. Same with Blackwell and Chris Getz. We're gonna pull Getz up into the broadcast booth now as well. Unfortunately, I believe the first driver to be eliminated here from the playoffs. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Chris, man, so far a bit of a up and down season here for you, but you're able to make it into the playoffs here, but looking very bleak going into this week, man. Take us through your thought process right now, knowing that you're 87 or 83 points behind, and I do believe after missing last week, technically eliminated from the playoffs now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for fun tonight and here on out. So, I mean, I'm just looking to have some fun.
Absolutely, brother. Have some fun, get some of that learning experience in there, and maybe go a little trophy hunting here in the final few races before the season comes to a close. Coming into this night, how do you feel there in the 87 ride? Do you think you kind of have a car that can compete and maybe pick up a win or battle here late in this race at the front of the field?
Yeah, I think if I stay clean and put myself in the right position coming down to the end, I think I got a chance to maybe play spoiler a little bit, but we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening.
All right, thank you, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Chris Getz. Getz, unfortunately, the first driver to be eliminated here from the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs. A tough break, a tough loss right there for the 87 ride. As we're going to get all these drivers out onto the speedway, they're going to be looking to do what they need to do. As my boy Xander says, good evening, my friend. I'm drunk AF and can't hear you, but good luck. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you, Xander, coming in, showing the love here in this one. As practice has come to a close, drivers are jumping out onto the racetrack here for their qualifying effort. So drivers jumping out there looking to get their night set off on the right foot, one of those being the 25 of William Connolly. Connolly in the M&M's machine, looking to have himself a good day here at the Speedway, looking to lay down a quick lap time and trying to get started here on the right foot at Kansas Speedway. Sitting with Jordan Hand, the Optic Texas, the Optic Gaming Auto Value Parts Stores #1 ride. Looking for a quick lap time, looking for a good lap time to keep himself here at the top of the speed charts and potentially put himself into a position where, he can start the front of the field and kind of manage this race and just trying to keep that number 88 ride of Dylan Carrier back there behind him. As right now, Carrier currently second quickest here on the Speedway. Noah Blackwell going to jump to the top of the speed charts here. A great lap time there for the Scooby-Doo #9 machine out there on the Speedway. Is Carrier in the beautiful Phoenix Esports NJB Designs M&M's ride here in this one. Connolly going to jump up into second. He's going to knock Dylan Carrier out of that second spot, but Carrier's going to jump right back in and take that back away from him. So a better second lap there for both Connolly and Carrier, but unfortunately they're both still behind Noah Blackwell here, but Blackwell's going to get knocked off the top spot as here comes Chris Stange. Stange now into the top position here in qualifying. A great lap time out of the 29 rod, and Chris Stange will take that top spot as of right now. Jordan Hand going to slide into position #5 as Landon Burbage out there on the Speedway. He's looking for a big run here in that HendrickCars.com #2. Burbage will jump into position #2. A great lap right there for that 2 ride as Josh Crider just getting done his qualifying efforts here. The next time by is the Josh Crider.wins ride. Is that an actual website? Josh Crider wins. Okay. I like it. I like it. He definitely does do some wins. He definitely has some wins out there as Josh Crider out into the 9th position there with that lap time. We do see Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing machine. Brian Underwood out there as well. The Gremlins, number 6 ride. We love it. The Gremlins ride currently in the 14th position here for Brian Underwood, one of those drivers that's already locked in to the next round of the playoffs. We do see Matthew Wood out there as well. The beautiful looking number 16 ride, the Racers for Christ, the Halloween paint scheme here this afternoon for the 16 machine. Rocking and rolling there on the racetrack is the NJBDesigns.com number 16 ride. Currently in the 4th position. We'll see if he can get a little quicker here on lap number 2. See if he can put himself to the top of the speed charts. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, qualifying slowly but surely coming to a close. We ask you guys to please smash that like button. Hit the like button on the broadcast right now. It's absolutely free to do. It helps us out a ton. Hit the like. Jump into the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for. And, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As we're going to get ready for our opening commands, as we're going to head down pit side to Lonnie Crider. Crider going to give us the opening commands here this afternoon.
It's another Saturday night. Looking forward to some great racing here. And want to let you know, this is championship points going on right now. And right now, it looks like all the leaves are falling off the trees. And that ain't all it's going to be falling out tonight, because we're going to lose a few drivers tonight to fall out of the championship. So good luck to the rest of you drivers. Hope you all drive safely. And thank God for another day that you gave us. Gentlemen, start those engines and let's go racing.
Alrighty, shout out there to Lonnie Crider coming in with our opening command. As now we'll head down pit side and ask you to please rise and remove your hats for our national anthem. Brought to you by Landon Burbage, the driver of the number 2 Chevrolet. Landon coming in here with our national anthem from Kansas Speedway. Alrighty, shout out there by Landon Burbage coming in there with the opening command as these drivers are loading in down pit side, each and every single one of them looking for the win here this afternoon. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to rock and roll. And starting on the pole in the number 29 machine, that is Chris Stange. Stange will lead us to the green flag. To his outside is the HendrickCars.com number 2 of Landon Burbage. Starting in position number 3 in the Scooby-Doo ride, that is the 9 of Noah Blackwell. To his outside in the Racers for Christ number 16, it's Matthew Wood. Starting in position number 5 in the M&M's number 88, that is Dylan Carrier. To his outside in the M&M's number 25, that is William Connolly. Starting in the 7th position in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride, that is Aiden Lucas. To his outside will be the Scooby-Doo Optic Texas. The Auto Value Parts Store number 1, that is Jordan Hand. Starting in position number 9 here on the racetrack in the number 37, that is Evan Stewart. To his outside in the 79 ride, it is the Jack Daniels ride of Danny White, rounding out our top 10. Starting in position number 11 in the Sim Racing Center number 74, that is Jaden Porter. To his outside in the Josh Crider Wins Capital One number 5 ride, that is Josh Crider. Starting in position number 13 in the 76, that is Farrell Robbins. To his outside in the 54, it's Thomas Horvath. And then we see the 99 rider, Ryan Haller, Jonathan Gaston there in 16th. The 6th rider, Brian Underwood, back in 17th. To his outside, the Red Bull Racing ride of Grant Applegate with Chris Getz and Dallas Seward bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from the beautiful Kansas Speedway here this afternoon. As out in front, it's Chris Stange quickly sliding over the nose of the 2-rider Landon Burbage. Burbage there in position number 2, but he's trying to keep himself right there within striking distance of our race leader Chris Stange. Down low through the middle though goes the 2-ride, going with a big head of steam down the Kansas Speedway. Front straight away, pulling up almost door to door with that 29 ride as Chris Stange leads lap number 1 here this afternoon. So Chris Stange out in front, but Landon Burbage now rolling the outside lane, looking to use that power, looking to use the Chevy Performance ride to put himself into the front of the field, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So now out in front for lap number 2 is the number 2. It is Landon Burbage who's able to jump up and take this race away from Chris Stange. Can Stange battle back as you see Matthew Wood back there in position number 3. One of those drivers already locked into the next round of our Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs. They're in the 3rd position with the 9 ride. Noah Blackwell there in position number 4. Dylan Carrier there in 5th, and William Connolly back there in the 6th position. Jordan Hand there in 7th with Aiden Lucas, Danny White, Josh Crider rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Door-to-door battle back here for position number 11 as that is the Red Bull Racing rider Grant Applegate already up 7 positions here on the Speedway. Applegate quickly working his way up and through the field as he just moved himself around the 72 with Jonathan Gaston. Gaston right there though, continue to look to his outside as now the 57 will migrate to the outside lane here, looking for a big run down and out of corner number 4 as he looks to try to work himself around Danny White for position number 10 on the Speedway. Just saw Josh Crider make that move to the outside, was able to make that pass here on the 79 ride. So Applegate trying to do exactly what he did and trying to keep on working his way to the front of the field. Dallas Seward making his way up through the traffic as well. Dallas from the back of the pack, now into about mid-pack here for the 38 ride early on. A good drive here for Dallas Seward as well, up 7 positions here on the Speedway, now into position number 12 on the Speedway as Gaston slides back to 13. Ryan Haller there in the 14th spot. Then we see Underwood, Porter, and Thomas Horvath back here in the 17th position. Horvath, one of those drivers looking to try to work his way into the next round of the playoffs here and definitely wanting to earn himself some of these stage points and running a little deeper in the field right now. We'll have to wait and see if he can get that Toyota Supra up towards the front of the pack. As Chris Stange was able to work himself back around Landon Burbage. Burbage back into position number 2 as Chris Stange back out in front. So the 2-ride able to lead a few laps in there on the Speedway, but didn't take long to see Chris Stange get back to the front of the field. As Matthew Wood now going to jump into that 2nd spot here on the Speedway as Noah Blackwell in the NJP Designs beautiful Scooby-Doo ride now into that 3rd position. He's got his teammate right there on his back bumper. The Phoenix Esports M&M's ride, the 88 of Dylan Carrier there in position number 4 and looking for more now as they were able to work themselves around Landon Burbage. Now Carrier came into this evening 1 point above our cutoff line here for this race and for the first round of the playoffs, knowing that he needs to have a big run, knows that he needs to have a great performance in trying to keep that number 1 ride of Jordan Hand back there behind him, and really hoping that his teammate Noah Blackwell does not pick up a win. But if they can orchestrate things perfectly here, a few of those drivers that are just inside of our top 8 on the point standings here for the playoffs. If they run into issues, if they have a bad run here this evening or can't really earn those extra playoff points, then maybe they can try to advance a couple of their team's drivers into the next round of the playoffs. Because Dylan Carrier can still move up into that 7th or 6th, 5th position here in the point standings if drivers have a bad run or run into issues. One of those drivers deeper in the field, Thomas Horvath, came into the evening probably feeling pretty comfy here. A decent point lead and decently working out for him here on the evening, but with that being said, anything is possible, and you take a look right there. Thomas Horvath came into this with 19 points above that cutoff line. Now, running deeper in the field here, definitely not earning any stage points back in the 17th position. You know, if some of those drivers that are back there behind them can earn that, 10, 8, 6, 5 extra stage points here in stage number 1, then maybe that gap gets a little closer, and then if he doesn't have a good performance in stage number 2, again, could get a little bit tighter there. So things could get very, very interesting here late in this race for where these drivers may finish out there on the speedway, or how our points may shape up here this afternoon, and who will be able to advance into the next round of our playoffs. As Chris Stage continues to lead the way, Matthew Wood there in 2nd, Dylan Carrier into position number 3, Noah Blackwell there in 4th. Landon Burbage there in the 5th position with Jordan Hand back in 6th. And then we see William Conley, Aiden Lucas, Josh Crider, and Grant Applegate rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway early on in this race. Now, stage number 1 does end on lap number 30. So we're almost halfway through this first stage of the day. So, these points are to be handed out rather quickly. You really got to work your way to the front of the field. You really got to make sure you keep yourself out of trouble in the right position here on the evening to work yourself into that next round of the playoffs and to earn yourself those extra points. As Victor says, hey, what's up, Victor? Mr. Ferguson coming in showing the love says, how are you liking Mishkov so far? Mishkov, good, man. He's going to be a very, very special player. It's going to take a little while. There's going to be some growing pains, honestly, learning the pains of the NHL and everything else. And, rookies are rookies, but I like him, man. He's going to be a very, very talented player. He's going to score a lot of goals and a lot of points for the Flyers over his career. So, there's no rush on how quickly he really performs there, but we definitely like Matei Mishkov, and I'm sure he's going to do some great things there in a Flyers jersey. Yes, Victor coming in with the like on the stream. Kevin Winker coming in with that thumbs up here on the broadcast as well. Alexander, we'll probably do another TCG stream in the future. I'm not sure when, but hopefully one of these days we'll get an opportunity. Maybe Monday we'll be able to jump in, play a little TCG, maybe do a couple other little things as well. As they're on the Speedway, these drivers continue to put on one heck of a show for us. As Ben Gleason says, let's go Connolly. Cheered on Connolly out there on the racetrack, hoping for a good run out of that 25 right here this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you do us a favor. Smash that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as these drivers are working their butts off out here on the Speedway for all of our enjoyment. Chris Stage out in front. Matthew Wood there in 2nd. You see that battle's on for position number 3, as Noah Blackwell knows he needs to do one thing and one thing only, and that is pick up as many points as possible and potentially make sure that he puts himself into the winner's circle here this afternoon to lock himself in to the next round of the playoffs. You guys think a playoff driver that's already in the green, or one of those drivers that's already, able to kind of just work their way in on points here, do you think they're going to win this race, or do you think one of these other drivers that are on the outside of the playoffs looking in find their way into victory lane? As we do know, Jordan Hand 1 point outside of the top 8 here in the point standings coming into this race. So Jordan Hand now working himself to the inside here of Landon Burbage, looking to keep on moving forward and seeing if he can try to get around that 88 right and make these points even tighter, as him and Dylan Carrier, the car to his outside there, just in front of him. 1 point separated them going into this evening for the final playoff spot here this afternoon. Now biting a big win or a big turn of events for the other drivers that are inside of the playoffs. It's going to be very, very close fighting here between a pair of teammates out there for that 8th and final transfer position into our championship game after this evening. As Jordan and Dylan Carrier right there together. Noah Blackwell just in front of him. He's looking for a big win here this afternoon, trying to bounce his way inside the next round from deep in the points hole right now. As you see the 2-rider Landon Burbage now trying to work himself around the number 88 of Dylan Carrier. You'll see Jordan Hand working himself underneath of the 9 here of Noah Blackwell. So with Blackwell going back a spot, Jordan Hand jumping up a position, and Dylan Carrier sliding back a spot. That's going to put Jordan Hand now a spot above Dylan Carrier in our playoff points. And this stage we're to end right now. Picking up those extra couple stage points would leapfrog him in front of the 88 ride. William Connolly right there as well in the 25. He knows he needs to pick up the win. He needs to pull this 25 right into victory lane. Aiden Lucas, one of our non-playoff drivers back here in 8th in the Beyond Detailing right. Grant Applegate, one of those playoff drivers, definitely looking to have himself a good day here on the evening, trying to just earn some extra playoff points here, trying to earn himself those extra stage points here in stage number 1. Currently scored in the 9th position by Josh Crider and Brian Underwood all over him here. Now, if Applegate doesn't earn any stage points, if he doesn't finish inside the top 10 here, same with Thomas Horvath, potentially those drivers could be closer and closer to the hot seat here this afternoon, especially with Jordan Hand now into position number 2 here, making his move around Matthew Wood. So Wood slides back to 3rd, Jordan Hand now into 2nd here, Noah Blackwell there in 4th, Burbage and Dylan Carrier, our top 6 here on the Speedway. Carrier's got to be careful as here comes William Connolly and Aiden Lucas in a quick hurry. Applegate slides back now to the 11th position as Josh Crider and Brian Underwood both work their way around the number 57. Now here comes Thomas Horvath. Horvath, one of those drivers in the playoffs, definitely wanting to get those extra stage points here. Definitely looking to try to pick himself up that extra little bit of comfort here going into this second stage and then into the next stage as well. So he's putting the pressure on, starting to run down our top 10 now into the 11th position. But is he going to have enough time, chat? It's going to get very close as 23 laps into this race already down. We know that there is going to be that stage break on lap number 30, and you do see that one ride of Jordan Hand continuing to work his way up towards the front of the field. Matthew Wood back into 3rd here is Noah Blackwell battling here with the 2 ride as Landon Burbage trying to work himself back inside the top 4. Here comes Dylan Carrier in the 88, William Connolly and Aiden Lucas right there as well. So again, could be another huge opportunity for some of these drivers like Noah Blackwell and for William Connolly, even just those few extra points, if Grant Applegate, Thomas Horvath, if they don't earn any stage points, could potentially put themselves into good positions. Now we do see Horvath slide into the top 10 on the speedways. I do believe Brian Underwood slides all the way back now into that 15th position, so sliding backwards there for the 6th ride. Unfortunately now into that 15th position as Chris Stange out in front. Stange continuing to lead the way here at Kansas Speedway. Stange out in front. Jordan Hand trying to track him down as we all know that the point situation here between the 1 and the 88, 1 point separating them coming into this race here this afternoon. 1 point between being eliminated from the playoffs and making your way through to the 2nd round here this afternoon. And right now, every single point is going to matter. It may come down to 1 point or a tiebreaker here this afternoon, as we do see the caution flag fly. The caution flag is going to be displayed here. Seems a little early than our stage break, so I'm not sure if somebody ran into issues or not. I don't see anything on the board, but I do believe it was lap 30 and 75 for our stage breaks, so I'm not sure. Yeah, definitely 30 and 75. So this is a little bit before our stage break. So this is going to be an interesting one. We'll have to try to go back and see what happened here. Not sure what this caution flag may have been for. Maybe Dallas Seward running into issues. You see Dallas a little deeper in the field. Maybe Jonathan Gaston. There it is. Jonathan Gaston going around here. Let's play this one back and take a look as our first caution flag of the day is going to be displayed. Looks like maybe a little 3 wide here between Gaston, the 79 of Danny White, and that 57 rider Grant Applegate. As down low, the 72 trying to roll underneath the 79 ride. They're going to get tight off corner exit. And unfortunately, looks like the 72 just washes up the racetrack over the nose after some contact there between him and Danny White. Hard contact into the outside fence there for the 72 ride. You see Grant Applegate, one of our playoff drivers. He's going to get collected in that as well. Pretty good front end damage there for that Red Bull Racing ride. So a tough break there for Grant Applegate. Now, if we do go back to green flag racing here before this lap number 30 marker, you know, potentially this could really make a big hit here on how this stage is going to play out. As we'll jump on board with Applegate. His helmet cam gets into the wall there as well as there were 3 wide. And unfortunately, it's some pretty good damage right there to the front end of this number 57 ride. So let's take a look at it here. Doesn't seem to be too much there from that angle, but that left front definitely took a pretty good hit. So we'll have to keep an eye and see if he's going to stay down pit side for an extended period of time. His driver is going to get ready to roll back out onto the racetrack. It is Chris Stage that comes back out with the race lead. So he came down with the race lead, comes out with the race lead here in this one. Jordan Hand there in second. Noah Blackwell going to come out in third. Dylan Carrier going to come out in fourth with Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage, William Connolly, Eden Lucas, Thomas Horvath, and Grant Applegate are top 10 here on the Speedway after those pit stops. So this stage did, in fact, come to a close. Then we would see some stage points being handed out for a few of these drivers that are in our playoffs and trying to hunt for the playoffs here. So it's going to be an interesting one to see as we do see Chris Stage and Jordan Hand both in front of the field getting ready to rock and roll, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, I do believe stage will end after the completion of the next lap, so this may be a little bit of an extended caution flag here. Let's see if we can get a driver like Chris Stage here into the broadcast booth. Where would Chris Stage be hiding at? There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pull Chris Stage right now. I do believe our Stage 1 winner on the evening, the AdminBoxx Field Up Motorsports ride. Let's pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you copy?
Bong.
Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Chris, man, so far a great start to this race. You were able to lead that first lap, and then a little bit of battle between yourself and the 2 Landon Burbage, but didn't take long, and you were able to get that race lead back away and keep a pretty good gap between yourself and the rest of the field out there, man. Take us through this first stage and how everything's been working for you in that 29 ride.
I think it was a lot to do with track position and clean air. This is not generally a great track for me, but the car's fast. Track's really cold. Track's really fast. I think Jordan was kind of running me down there. I got to pace myself. It's going to be really tough to make it to the end of this stage on fuel. I believe it's going to be 75, which, yeah, I think we're going to have to stop no matter what. I think we can only make it about 65. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, but getting ready to go green here. So try and do this again and lead a bunch more laps.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there. Have fun, and congratulations on picking up the win there in stage number 1.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Chris Stage, our current race leader in our Stage 1 winner here this afternoon. As Chris Stage going to get ready for this restart, has Jordan Hand there to his outside. Noah Blackwell, Dylan Carrier, Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage, Eden Lucas, Grant Applegate, Danny White, and now Farrell Robbins, our top 10 here on the Speedway as we go back to green flag racing. When's our first restart? After we got go restarts up Christine with a great launch and a great run down the front straightaway here. He'll take that race lead by about 4 or 5 car lengths down into the first set of corners here at Kansas Speedway. As out in front, it's all Chris Stange. Stange out in front, showing him how to get it done as Jordan Hand gonna slide back into that second position. I thought for a moment there that Noah Blackwell was gonna put the pressure there to his back bumper, as we did see Jordan Hand end up with a few more playoff points there, a few more stage points than what Dylan Carrier did. So I do believe mathematically there, after that first stage, Jordan Hand would slide into that 8th and final playoff position here as they stand on the Speedway. So finding anything that happens here late in this race or an issue between the 1 or the 88 out there on the racetrack, this is a pretty heads-up race between the two of them. Know that they came into this race only 1 point separating them here for that 8th and final position into our round of 8 here this afternoon. Jordan Hand doing exactly what he needed to do, jumping out there, having a good run, working that one ride into that second spot on the Speedway and able to gain those couple points he was looking for to have that advantage now over the 88. So now Dylan Carrier, he's going to have to be on the hot seat here into the 9th spot in our point standings, knowing that he needs to try to earn those few more points than that one ride himself here in that 8th and final position here for our round of 8 is already, you see, Grant Applegate. Applegate unfortunately did not get any stage points there in stage number 1, but early on here in stage 2, he's already worked himself up and into that 4th position and now looking for 3rd to the outside here of the 88 of Dylan Carrier. So Grant Applegate working himself up to the front of the field, already worked himself around Blackwell and Burbage, and quickly going after the 88. Looks like down the front straightaway, he's going to make that pass. So move Grant Applegate now into that 3rd spot. He's got his eyes set on the one right at Jordan Hand in that 29. Our race leader, Chris Stange, said he didn't really like this racetrack. I don't know if he was joshing us right there or not, because this 29 ride seems to be handling it pretty good, man. He's looking pretty good out there on the Speedway, if I do say so myself. A little coffee there, track keep us absolutely perfect here this afternoon as Chris Stange continuing to lead the way. Jordan Hand there in 2nd, Grant Applegate there in 3rd, and then we see Dylan Carrier, Landon Burbage, our top 5 now on the Speedway as he rolls around the outside of the 9 right, a Noah Blackwell. Move Blackwell back to 6 as here comes Aiden Lucas as the Beyond Detailing 77 right continues to try to work his way towards the front of the field. One of our non-playoff drivers trying to slide up here in battle, up inside the top 5 on the Speedway. Lucas looking underneath the 9, and he is going to take that 6th position on the Speedway. Now has his eyes set on that 2 ride of Landon Burbage. Matthew Wood, one of those drivers, already locked in to our round of 8 here after his big win at Watkins Glen International Speedway to start off our playoffs here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League in 2024. So he was already picking up that win. He's already locked his way into the next round, and he's one of those drivers that's just kind of running out there trying to get as much experience, as much learning as he can out there on the racetrack, and making sure that he keeps his seat here in that next round of the playoffs. And if he can jump out there and have some good stages, maybe pick up another win here at the end of the evening in the 16 ride, could earn himself those extra points here in the playoffs, and those extra bonus points to go towards his already massive amount of points here that he's accumulated over the season to try to use towards every round of our playoffs down to our championship races. As Ryan Haller looking to his outside, Haller having himself a great run as Ryan Haller there in the 9th spot in the 99 ride. They get a big gap over 2 seconds back to the 54 ride of Thomas Horvath. As Horvath working to the outside here of the World Oil number 76 ride of Farrell Robbins. Good to see him out there on the racetrack as Farrell in the 11th position now as Horvath works himself around the 76. You see Danny White back there in 12th with Jaden Porter in position number 13. Brian Underwood back there in 14th with Josh Crider there in the 15th position. William Connolly, Evan Stewart, Jonathan Gaston, Chris Getz, Dallas Seward, and Nathan Brookover bringing up the rear of the field, but Brookover unfortunately not jumping out there onto the racetrack here, so he actually missed the start of this race and has not joined this field for the feature event here this afternoon. As we'll take a quick look in here at Josh Crider, see what Crider's doing out there on the speedway here in this number 5 ride as he's trying to work himself up and through the field, maybe trying to play a little bit of different strategy here in that 5 ride. Get a good look here at him as he's trying to, work this car around the speedway, trying to keep himself out of trouble, trying to keep this car nice and clean out there on the speedways. He's one of those competitors that's battling here not only for a playoff berth here as well, trying to work himself into the next round of the playoffs. He's feeling a lot more comfortable right now than what he was last week, as last week he thought it was that final one, but he comes into this race with 24 points above that cutoff line. So he's feeling pretty comfy here in this race, but you can never feel too comfortable unless if your name is in the green. Wood and Underwood are the only 2 drivers that have locked their way into the next round of the playoffs. Chris Getz is the first driver unfortunately eliminated here mathematically here from the playoffs. He cannot win a single in as he missed last week's race. So a tough break there for Chris Getz, but he's having some fun out there on the speedway, enjoying his day, so that's all that really matters at the end of it. But all these drivers that are battling for those playoff spots right in the middle-ish area, bottom middle, you see the 2 drivers separated by 1 point. Dylan Carrier and Jordan Hand, both of those drivers looking to work their way into the playoffs here, but they're teammates and potentially battling with each other. And if it comes down to a driver like Noah Blackwell or William Connolly picking up a win here this afternoon, that moves that cut line down even more, and that could knock both of the number 1 and 88 rides out of the playoffs. Chris Stange already off to a great start, picking up stage win number 1, trying to keep that gap between himself and Hand and Carrier there pretty good. And then you saw Grant Applegate actually didn't get any stage points there in stage number 1. Same with, I didn't believe Thomas Horvath may have got 1 point right there, but with Jordan Hand getting about 9 playoff points, and Dylan Carrier getting a good amount right there as well. That closes those drivers in closer to that cutoff line. So you don't want to have too many mistakes out there. If you're Grant Applegate, if you're, Landon Burbidge or Thomas Horvath, you don't really want to sit back. You don't want to allow those drivers to earn a lot of stage points and kind of leapfrog you or get closer to you, where if they have a better finish here this afternoon, it could be the difference maker between you having another playoff race here on the season, or if you'll just be another driver out there on the racetrack battling for wins. So if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, you got to work yourself to the front of the field. You got to put on a show. You got to be able to keep yourself up there, as well as we do see Chris Stange continuing to lead the way here in this one. Applegate, though, right there behind him after missing out on stage points, knowing that he's fallen a little closer here to that 1 ride and the 88 ride. He knows that the points are gotten a lot closer. Came into this with about 13 points above that cutoff line. Now with Jordan Hand getting 9 points, him getting none, that means he's about 5 points back of that 57 ride. So meaning that the 57, he's only about 5 or 6 points right now as they sit above that cut line. His day came in looking fairly decent. Had one goal in mind, just have a good run and a good drive, but needed those stage points desperately, and unfortunately now it's going to make it a little bit more of a stressful final runs here on this evening, as he's already working to the back bumper of Chris Stange. Stange trying to hang on to this race lead. Applegate, though, right there in second, and Jordan Hand right there behind him. Hand is not left these guys here at the front of the field, and you did hear from that number 29 of Chris Stange says that they can probably only make it to about lap number 65 here before they're going to have to come back down pit side. So about the 30-35 laps of a fuel strategy here to be played out, and then it becomes a big thing. You know, we see another caution flag at lap number 75. So that could really make things that much more interesting. Trying to make some moves, trying to use yourself and put yourself into a good position to earn these playoff points. But, you know, I don't think anyone, if he only thinks they can make it to lap 65, then, you know, no one's really going to be able to see of fuel out there in this short time of frame, so you're really just gotta go here in this second stage and hope that you have a good, clean pit stop, or maybe see a caution flag beforehand to be able to bring everyone down under the yellow flag. But right now, you know, it's a great battle here at the front of the field. Chris Steen trying to hang on and hold off Grant Applegate and Jordan Hand. His hand right here, ready to pounce in that third position, about a second and a half back. You see our fourth place driver, Landon Burbage. There in the fourth spot, battling door to door for a quick second of the 88 of Dylan Carrier. Noah Blackwell, one of those drivers that's in a must-win situation, there in sixth. And then Matthew Wood, who's already locked himself into the next round of the playoffs, there in seventh. Aiden Lucas and Matthew Wood right there in the seventh and eighth position. Ryan Haller, one of those drivers on the outside of the playoffs, looking in, currently scored in the ninth spot. Ryan Underwood back here in the 10th position, but you look a little farther back and you see Thomas Horvath up into the outside fence right here, and it looks like Horvath is going to try to take this car down pit side. So here you go, Chris Stage also down pit road. So our race leader heads down pit side, so doesn't the number 54 of Thomas Horvath. So a pair of our playoff contenders quickly down pit road. We also see the 38 ride of Dallas Seward down pit side as well. So a different fuel strategy, the different grooves that these drivers are trying to run out there on the speedway. All this different strategy and everything else is going to play a major factor into this evening's feature event and where drivers can put themselves out here on the speedway. And if you guys are entertained, if you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Huge shout out there to Josh Crider giving us a good look on board with him here as he's been driving around, rolling, battling here with all these drivers and continue to try to work himself back up through the field as the 5 ride scored now in the 11th position with green flag pit stops. It's anybody's race, man. This is going to be very, very interesting as we do see Ryan Haller down pit side. We did see Dallas Seward and Stage also down pit road. We'll see who else may decide to come down pit side anytime soon. As out in front is Grant Applegate, who leads the way. Right there behind him is that one rider, Jordan Hand. And there in position number 2 is Landon Burbage back in the 3rd spot. As hang on to it, Noah Blackwell getting onto the apron right there, getting very squirrely out at corner number 3 and 4, as now we do see Jordan Hand make his way down pit side. So Jordan Hand's going to come down pit road. So a few drivers pitting a little bit earlier than everybody else, trying to make this strategy call, seeing if they can put it to their advantage, see if they can work out for them here. I don't think any of these guys are really going to put on tires or anything else. They may just get fuel only. As oh, that's a big break right there. Jordan Hand a little too far there in his pit stall. He is going to get some tires as well. So it looks like he's going to put those fresh set of slicks on, at least the right hand side. There's the left hand side getting jacked up. So full pit stop here for that one ride, quickly getting off the jack and back if they're onto the racetrack. Now here comes a slew of other drivers. Landon Burbage, Brian Underwood, Danny White, Farrell Robbins, Evan Stewart, all headed down pit side. As Chris Staines, one of those first drivers to head down pit road. We'll have to wait and see if this is going to work out perfectly for Chris Staines. If this cycles through, he could potentially have himself a pretty decent lead coming down a few laps earlier than everybody else. It's going to be wild to see how this kind of all works out, as we do see now Landon Burbage getting ready to leave his pit stall. Same with Danny White and Farrell Robbins as Burbage rolling back out there onto the racetrack. You take a look back at the number 29 of Chris Staines. So this is what the fresh tires can kind of do and what the leapfrogging can do here, as well as drivers trying to come down pit side, make some different strategy calls and everything else, and coming down pit road early. They put this number 29 right out in front by quite a bit as Jordan Hand gonna end up being behind the 2 ride, maybe just getting by him right there. So Jordan Hand is going to stay what would be our second position, as now Noah Blackwell heads down pit side, but we still have Grant Applegate out there on the speedway. So Applegate has not come down pit road yet, either as Aiden Lucas or Matthew Wood. Dylan Carrier still yet to come down pit road. William Connolly not making that green flag pit stop yet, as well as Jaden Porter. So a few of these drivers still on the lead lap, a few of these drivers still battling out there and making this a little bit tougher here, a little bit more of a stranger situation for those drivers that are battling here, trying to get themselves back onto the lead lap, hoping that this cycles through, hoping that we don't see a caution flag. As they were to see that caution flag, it could potentially put them deep in the field. As you see Chris Stage roll around the 25 ride. That is an unfortunate break for the 25, as I do believe it's William Connolly trying to keep himself in contention for the race win here this afternoon. But we do see Matthew Wood, Dylan Carrier both down pit road as well. So they're going to get their stops done, and they're going to roll back out onto the racetrack for Wood and Carrier. But it's still Grant Applegate at the front of the field. Aiden Lucas, William Connolly yet to come down pit road. Now they can try to extend their pit stops here and see if they can make it on fuel. But I don't know, Applegate went pretty long there, man. He was on the hammer pretty quickly in this run, and yeah, I don't think he's been safe in any fuel, so I think it's going to be very, very tough for him. But for the 25 rider, William Connolly, he's in a very odd area as he came down pit road there on lap 29, so a couple laps after everybody else, came back down pit road, got some extra fuel into this car, made sure it was completely topped up before we saw that green flag fly. Now, honestly, in that position where those extra couple laps, that extra little bit of fuel, maybe that fuel saving, has he saved enough? Can he save enough here? Can he make it to the end of this stage and maybe get the stage win? It'll be interesting to see whether or not it plays off for him here or not, and maybe trying to save that extra set of tires as well for the 25 right, as we now see Grant Applegate and Aiden Lucas both head down pit road. So pair of other drivers headed down pit side. We do see Jonathan Gaston. He's going to on that same strategy here as well as the 25 ride, as Gaston currently scored in that 4th position. He's actually going to get passed now by the drivers that have already came down pit road. So this could potentially put him into a tough spot now, as there goes Jordan Hand and Chris Stage, as that's a battle for what could be the stage win right here, as the 1 rider, Jordan Hand, jumping up and passing the 29 of Chris Stage. Stage going to slide back now into the 3rd spot, as there's Applegate down on the apron trying to build up that speed. Now Applegate will have the fresher tires, maybe the most speed out of all these cars out there on the racetrack, but he's going to have a pretty good gap to have to try to close the gap here on Jordan Hand and Chris Stage. About 3 seconds between himself and his top 2 competitors on the speedway. As Jordan Hand looking to try to pick up the stage when we do see William Connolly making his way down pit side. So that strategy all for naught here this afternoon, as the 25 still has to make his way down onto pit road, as Jordan Hand continues to lead him here in this one. So Jordan Hand down the front straightaway here will consume this race lead from the 25 of William Connolly, as Connolly down in his pit box getting this car worked on and getting that fuel into this 25 machine. Doesn't look like he's taking any tires here, so that may be the strategy called for the 25, trying to save that extra set of tires, keep him back there behind pit wall for maybe late in this race, and a late race strategy to put that extra set on to see if that can put him in to victory lane, as he's in that must-win situation here this afternoon. But Jordan Hand, he's in a position to try to earn himself some pretty good playoff points here and earn himself some pretty good stage points that could work himself into the next round of our playoffs. Is currently Dylan Carrier, that driver that he was 1 point behind coming into this thing, is on the outside of the top 10 looking in, as got Ryan Waller, Danny White right there in front of him. He's going to look for the middle here between the 2 of those cats, and Dylan Carrier going to slide right on through, and that will move him into the 9th position, at least on the speedway. So He's going to at least earn himself 2 stage points here in this one. Looking for a 3rd stage point here as he's going to try to roll around the 72. Jonathan Gaston. I think Gaston is also on that strategy call as well, trying to run the stage up as long as possible. See if he can try to use this extra fuel in the car from coming down pit road a couple laps later than everybody to make it to the end. But he's given up a lot of time out there on the racetrack, and he's going to have to be very careful. But you look back through the field, you see Landon Burbage outside of a stage point area here, as well as Matthew Wood. Thomas Horvath on the outside of stage points here in the 54. William Connolly there as well. So a few of these drivers potentially not earning those stage points could play a major factor here on the day. As there we go, Jonathan Gaston is going to come down pit road, so he couldn't make it to the end and is forced to come down to pit side here as Jordan Hand continues to lead the way. Has almost half a second now between himself and Chris Stage. Brian Underwood out there in 3rd with Aiden Lucas in 4th. That's Josh Crider there to his outside. Crider looking to get those extra points here in this one as Noah Blackwell there in 6th, and Carrier there in 7th. Grant Applegate back here in the 8th position. He continues to slide backwards. I wonder if Applegate put tires onto this 57 ride. That might have been part of his strategy here to not put on that fresh set of tires, and that may cost him hugely here at the end of the stage after not getting any stage points there in stage number 1. He may go into this final stage on the outside of a transfer spot. Looking in here, ladies and gentlemen, he was only 13 points to the good, and Jordan Hand had a pretty good first stage. Same with Dylan Carrier. They're both looking to earn more stage points here in stage number 2, and if Grant Applegate isn't careful, he may be on the outside of the top 10 looking in here as Danny White right there behind on the 16 of Matthew Wood, not too far back there, as well as Thomas Horvath and Landon Burbage and William Connolly all trying to work their way inside the top 10 as well. Out in front, it is this number 1 ride of Jordan Hand that continues to lead the way, unfortunately putting the number 38 of Dallas Stewart again another lap down out there on the speedway, or his first lap down, as we'll see Jonathan Gaston a lap down. Chris Getz, I do believe, now a lap down as well. I do believe a couple of these drivers running into issues, trying to keep themselves out of trouble, as Farrell Robbins is the final driver on the lead lap as of right now in that 15th position. But it's all Jordan Hand here at the front of the field, over second now between himself and Chris Stage. Stage there in position number 2. Brian Underwood back there in 3rd. Noah Blackwell there in 4th with Josh Crider in that 5th position. Now working to the outside of Dylan Carrier. Carrier trying to keep pace with that one ride of Jordan Hand here. Knowing that they came in almost even in the points for that final playoff position. But with Jordan Hand out in front, Hand is able to pick up this stage win. Would gain an extra 5 spots on him here, an extra 5 points. I do believe he already gained a few extra points there on Dylan Carrier there in stage number 1 as well. So Dylan's going to be looking for as many stage points as possible. We do see Grant Applegate slide back now into the 10th position as stage number 2 slowly but surely coming to a close here in this one. Lap 75 is the end of the stage, and right now down across the line, Jordan Hand with only a couple more laps left to go, looking to pick up this stage win, which could be a massive turn of events here for the one machine here on the evening. We'll have to keep a close eye on him and see how he keeps his car pointed out there on the speedway, looking for that stage win, looking for that opportunity to leapfrog a few of those drivers having some issues out there on the speedway. See if he can try to leapfrog them, earn his way into the next round of our playoffs. Is Jordan Hand out in front. Chris Stage there in 2nd. Brian Underwood in the 3rd spot with Noah Blackwell now into position number 4 as you see Josh Crider and Dylan Carrier continuing to battle door-to-door here as both Dylan and Josh, 2 of our winners from earlier in the season, both of them looking for some wins here this afternoon. Now Crider should be in on points. I feel like he was sitting pretty comfortable coming in as the 3rd place driver in the points point standings as our top two already locked into the next round. He's looking to just work his way in here on points, and getting these extra stage points can help him on his way of securing one of our championship 8 positions. Dylan Carrier, though, has got to be feeling the pressure now, starting to feel that he may be on the hot seat. See Applegate here, as Applegate trying to keep himself inside this top 10, trying to keep himself in that final point here, trying to at least earn 1 stage point here on the day, as Hand out in front continue to lead the way here in this one. Nice and easy out at corner number 4. It's gonna be the one ride of Jordan Hand. Hand is going to win stage number 2 here on the evening. So Jordan Hand came out here with a goal and an accomplishment to reach here this afternoon, and he is able to do it. Coming home in second in stage number 1, and then picking up the win here in stage number 2 is absolutely massive here for the one ride of Jordan Hand, and his playoff hopes may yet still be alive here this afternoon, and they may have been a little bit more. That may have grown a little bit more, as he may have even leapfrogged the number 57 rider, Grant Applegate, as well. But it did come at a price. What price did he have to pay? Was it an extra set of tires? Is it, pushing the car a little too hard out there, burning up his equipment? That may hurt him here in the long run of this evening's feature event. We'll have to wait and see, as we'll get ready to pull Jordan up into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Man, a great run, great drive right there. Not post-race, but our feature stage winner number 2 here. We'll pull Jordan Hand up into the broadcast booth. We'll wait and see if they come down pit road this time. If they do, I don't want to bug them on pit road, so we'll let them try to get that pit stop in there nice and easy. We already saw him overshoot his pit stop there during the green flag pit stops here, so we don't want to bug him too much. We want to make sure he can hit his marks and not have any of these mistakes. See everybody coming back down pit road. So, whew, baby, this could be interesting. Jordan Hand, Chris Stage, top of the class here so far this evening. Underwood coming home there in third. One of our winners here in the first round of our playoffs, already locking his way into the next stage of the playoffs, coming home there in third. So a big run for him as well, showing some more speed here as the one ride down on pit road, getting that car jacked back up. Another set of tires thrown underneath of the Optic Texas ride. We do see Chris Stage up here. Does have that number 1 pit stop. We'll have to wait and see if he can use that to his advantage to maybe take this race lead. I do believe he is going to beat the one ride of Jordan Hand off of pit road. So Chris Stage going to jump back to the race lead, but Jordan Hand there in second. Underwood, Blackwell, Crider there in 5th. Then we see Haller, Aiden Lucas, Dylan Carrier, Grant Applegate, and Danny White. Our top 10 when we go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to pull Jordan Hand up here into the broadcast booth for picking up that second stage win of the day. Hey Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Not much, Jordan, brother. A great run there in stage number 2, as you're able to use that pit strategy and coming down pit road nice and cleanly there. You're able to hit your marks, but you come back out. You got to close that gap on Chris Stage. You're able to do that in a quick hurry. Take that top spot away from as things cycle down there on those green flag pit stops. And you drive it home for a big stage win on our second stage of the day here, man. How does it feel knowing that you've earned, virtually the second most stage points here on the evening between you and Chris Stage, both picking up 19 stage points now between these first 2 runs?
Yeah, we definitely needed them. I screwed up in qualifying, so it had to definitely make up some ground. Thankfully, we weren't outside the top 10. But I don't know, man. Just save tires, let these guys kind of race hard. It's kind of the name of the game. I definitely think we have the best long run car here tonight. But hopefully we don't get any early cautions or something like that screw us over in the end. But yeah, man, we're getting these stage points. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, earning those stage points over one of your teammates still there in Dylan Carrier. Don't know that he's kind of on the outside of the playoff picture here, and you're moving up in front of him. How's the vibes there in the Discord between the two of you?
The morale's all right. There's no animosity to any of us. We all want us to succeed. So, whatever happens, happens. It'd be pretty cool if I don't know how it would even work now. I don't think he got very many stage points. So I was gonna say it'd be cool if like 2 of us got in, but you know, we're all happy for each other. You know, it's we got a good team over there, and you know, morale's high. Morale's high.
Well, there is a playoff hope there for Dylan, as well as I believe he's earned about 9 stage points so far in this race. Applegate has only earned 1, so I think there's only about 3 or 4 points difference there between Dylan and Brent Applegate, which could be now the battle for that 8th and final playoff spot. You may have even leapfrogged Applegate there after he only picked up that 1 stage point in stage number 2 and didn't earn any there in stage 1.
Oh, dang, I didn't know that. Well, hey, anything can happen, man.
Absolutely, brother. Well, getting ready for this restart out there, Jordan. Good luck, have fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth in the post-race interview.
I appreciate it, brother. Take it easy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, giving up there for Jordan Hand, as Hand coming home there with stage win number 2 here on the evening. And now the points are definitely going to be crunched up here. I'm sure all these drivers are trying to do those points in their head, trying to figure out where they stand out there on the speedway. And from my calculations, it's going to be very, very tight there between the 88 of Dylan Carrier and the 57 right of Grant Applegate here throughout this final run, and it could be down to, you know, that 1 point, that 1 position, that 1 car to pass that will be able to work yourself into the next round of the playoffs, as we do see that green flag fly here quickly in this one. We do see the number 38 ride of Dallas Seward running into some issues here down through the grass on the restart. Now, I'm not sure how this one happened. He was trying to catch up to the rear of the field, and he does catch up to them, and then going up through the gears, looks like Chris Getz kind of gets onto the binders there a little bit, maybe misses a shift. And unfortunately, it kind of stacks up the 87, the 72 right of Jonathan Gaston, as you see him check up right there. Gaston gets hard into his back end, and Dallas Seward comes in there and gets right underneath of the 72. And unfortunately, that's just going to, that's 38 all out of shape right there. Unfortunately, down and around, and then down through the infield there in that 38 ride. Unfortunately, no caution flag, so a tough night, getting even tougher here for Dallas Stewards. We already did see Jaden Porter and Evan Stewart also leave the speedway as well. They're both down behind pit walls. There's not a lot of drivers in there on the speedway, but it's all race stage. And Jordan Hand so far in this race, coming home 1 and 2 each in the first and second stage on the day. But now Brian Underwood up into that second spot on the speedway. Underwood started all the way back in the 17th position. Now finds himself in the Gremlins car here in position number 2, and trying to keep himself up here. Maybe trying to pick up another win here in this first round of our Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs. Says he's trying to pick up another big win, maybe putting himself into a position to earn some extra points going forward here in our NASCAR playoffs. Jordan Hand back there in third. He did hear from saying that he thinks he's probably got the best long run car here on the afternoon. Now, we haven't really seen, we've only seen 1 caution flag there due to incident out on the racetrack, and that's what ended our first stage of the day, was that caution flag. So only 1 yellow flag for incident, kind of also with the stage there, and that 1 stage break for stage number 2. Not a whole lot of issues here with yellow flags on the evening, but if this stays clean and green, and we have a long green flag run here to finish off this evening, Jordan Hand thinks he may have that car to beat. We'll have to keep an eye on him, see if he can get it done, as you see Dylan Carrier right there with him now in that 4th position, in the 99 rider Ryan Haller right there as well. Haller looking to the inside of the 88 for position number 4 on this week. Nathan Irvin back there in 6th with Damon Lucas there in 7th. Noah Blackwell back in the 8th position as William Connolly, Josh Crider, and the 57 of Grant Applegate right there bound together just on the outside of the top 10, as the 79 of Danny White working down to the inside of the Red Bull Racing number 57 right. Thomas Horvath right there as well. Now, I believe Horvath finished outside of the stage as well, so that's a little driver that's inside of our playoffs here. And didn't really get any stage points. He came into this race 19 points above that cut line for Thomas Horvath, but with no stage points there. Jordan Hand picking up 19 stage points, Now they're virtually only 1 point separating those two drivers here in this race, but right now it's looking pretty bleak for a few of these drivers, ladies and gentlemen. A few of these competitors out there. I think Applegate, Thomas Horvath, Jordan Hand, and Dylan Carrier are the four drivers to look at here and who can kind of jump forward or launch forward and pick up potentially one of these final playoff positions on the evening. I think it could get very, very tight between them. And you also see, Noah Blackwell and Dylan Connolly, both two drivers that are still on the lead lap, still in this race, can try to use some pit strategy or anything else to their advantage. We saw William Connolly using some of that pit strategy there during that second run of the evening there in stage number 2. We watched him come down pit road and not put that extra set of tires on. So potentially he may have that extra set down behind pit wall. That could be make or break potentially for the 25 ride, as everyone else is starting to run out of those extra tires. He's got that extra set back there behind pit wall, maybe throwing those on late in this race and being able to just drive around everybody else, maybe the move that he's looking for to put himself into victory lane and snagging one of these final playoff spots this evening. So definitely some good strategy coming from the M&M's number 25 ride. I think Grant Applegate may be somewhat on that same strategy there. I don't know why he would be. He was battling for the race lead there between himself and Jordan Hand and the number 29 of Chris Staines there, and lap, on the racetrack there throughout that middle portion of stage number 2. He was looking good out there, and he saw him come back from those reflect pit stops and just did not pick up that same pace. Actually slid farther backwards into the 10th position. Maybe he didn't take tires, maybe he tried to use the same strategy as the 25, but I think it would have taken the stage points over, maybe trying to save that extra set of tires, but who knows, maybe it'll work out for him, maybe it'll play out for the 57 ride, maybe he'll be one of those drivers just edging his way into our second round of the playoffs here this afternoon. This first stage out in front, continuing to lead the way, doing exactly what he came here to do this evening, just trying to earn as many points as possible, trying to earn all these points for leading laps and picking up that stage win, and then trying to earn the extra points as well for stage 2, and trying to just keep himself here in front and win the race here, automatically locked into the next round, and that's exactly what Chris Staines is trying to do. Brian Underwood, one of those race winners from last week, is right there in position number 2. He's looking to pick up another win here in the first round of the playoffs, as well as Ryan Haller, one of our non-playoff drivers here in the thick of things here, battling for that third spot on the speedway, as he's got Dylan Carrier and Jordan Hand right there behind him. Here comes that 2 ride, Landon Burbage. Burbage trying to battle here inside the top 5 as well, as he's looking to try to slide around the 88 right now. Dylan Carrier for that 5th position. Aiden Lucas has been doing a great job up inside the top 10, top 7 here pretty much all evening long, and the 77 trying to hang on to that 7th spot on the speedways. Grant Applegate looking there to his outside as the Red Bull Racing number 57 machine there in the 8th position. William Connolly back there in 9th, and then we see Josh Crider now inside the top 10. Thomas Horvath there in 11th, with Matthew Wood back in 12th. Danny White, Farrell Robbins, our top 14. Noah Blackwell now back into the 15th position, with Chris Getz rounding out our lead lap drivers here this afternoon in the 87. Jonathan Gaston, Dallas Seward, Jaden Porter, Evan Stewart, and Nathan Brookover bringing up the rear of the field, but it's all Staines here in this one. Chris Staines out in front, continuing to lead the way as Brian Carrier says, "Let's go 88." Cheered on Dylan Carrier out there on the speedway as Dylan looking to try to keep his playoff dreams alive here, trying to keep this 88 ride in a position to maybe pick up a win and lock his way in, or potentially earn his way in on points through this afternoon. He's rolling there in that 5th position, trying to hold off Landon Burbage, but down low Burbage is going to jump up and take that 4th spot away from him. And here comes Aiden Lucas quickly to the back bumper of that 88 ride. Some great racing, some great action out there on the speedway. Each of these drivers put on a heck of a show for us here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that time by the start-finish line, drivers put down lap number 97, meaning that we got 70 laps of racing action here this afternoon. 70 laps left here of battling out there on the speedway. Who's it gonna be? Who will earn their way into the second round of our playoffs? Who will be eliminated? As 4 drivers will unfortunately not make it through this afternoon for our premium stock car racing league. 4 drivers will be eliminated. We already know one of them is Chris Getz. Unfortunately for Chris Getz, he has been eliminated here from our playoffs, so that means only 3 more drivers to figure out who gets the boot here in our first round of the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs. Will it be Dylan Carrier? Will it be the one rider Jordan Hand, or will it be somebody else, as we do see the caution flag coming back out here? Let's take a look and see what happened. Looked like maybe Danny White running into issues here. Ooh, you also see the 5 and the 54 coming together here on the outside. That's a pair of our playoff contenders here. Josh Crider in the 5 right, the 54. Thomas Horvath up on the high side. Let's take a look here as Crider kind of through the middle, the 54 in behind him, and I'm not sure if it looks like the 54, the 5 gets a little loose. Nonetheless, they come together hard up into the outside fence. Heavy damage for both drivers. And then you see the 5 after bouncing off the wall comes down. Unfortunately, collects Danny White. Nowhere to go for Mr. White right there, as he's going to slam jam into the American Ethanol outside fence there on the back straightaway here at Kansas. Pretty good damage there for the Jack Daniels ride. Pretty good damage for Crider and Thomas Horvath right there as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, as Horvath potentially one of these drivers that could be in a sticky situation here, especially now after that contact, you know, between him and the 5, where he could be in some trouble here, trying to work his way into the next round of our playoffs. As I do believe just the rear end of the 5 right kind of goes around here. Yeah, he's a little slideways right here, and the car just travels up the racetrack. I don't think, maybe the 54 and a little neck code right there, all kind of working together, and unfortunately, this gets him and that 54 hard up into the outside fence, and then that's where you see Danny White just get clipped and goes around as well. So let's take another look at all these drivers here after these pit stops. We do see everyone coming down pit side, making these late race pit stops. So this is going to be interesting, seeing whether or not drivers put on those final, you know, sets of tires or not. I don't know if they did. I don't think they would have, but who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows who may have came down and put those extra tires on? This is going to be interesting. I do think that we see a couple of drivers actually not coming down pit road. I don't see Dylan Carrier or Jordan Hand make their way down pit side here. So let's play this back real quick. Let's throw it in reverse. Let's back it up here, Terry. And let's take a look. Here you go. This will tell the tale right here. So in front, you do see the 29 of Staines, the 6 all come down pit side, but the 1 of Jordan Hand and the 88 of Dylan Carrier both stay out there on the speedway, not coming down pit road. So this is a huge turn of events for some of these drivers. Now, I'm not sure if everyone down pit road is going to be putting on some fresh tires or not, or whether they're just coming down to get that extra fuel here to try out their strategy a little bit better. Let's see if they get jacked up or not, see if they put on those extra tires. There you go. We do see all these drivers putting on another set of tires here, which could be their final set of tires. This is going to be interesting here. This definitely got a little bit more spicy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You guys came here for a show. Well, here you go. Some strategy calls, some big baller plays out there on the speedway. How's it going to pay off? How's it going to work out here for Jordan Hand and Dylan Carrier, 2 drivers that came into this evening, separated by 1 point for the final transfer spot here this afternoon. Now, there's been a few drivers that have unfortunately not earned any stage points, where the 1 and the 88 have both earned themselves some pretty good stage points here on the evening, making it even closer here for a few more of these drivers. When you look back through the field in some of these stages, you know, Grant Applegate is another one of those drivers that could be towards that cutoff line. He could be right there on the edge of making it in or being eliminated. Same with the number 54, Thomas Horvath, especially now after Horvath getting caught up in that latest incident out there on the speedway with the 5 ride of Crider. Those drivers could be in a dangerous situation here and could potentially be on the outside looking in here of our top 8, our final 8 here in this championship, as lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and that means we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, these drivers, they got about 22 laps of tire differential out there on the speedway. I feel like Jordan Hand and Dylan Carrier got to be thinking that we're going to see another quick caution flag or something here in this one, man, because 22 laps seems like a big difference here. Like, they're going to need fuel in the next 10 laps or so before they're going to have to be forced to come down pit road. So if we see a 10, 12 lap green flag run, you know, those two are probably going to be forced to come down pit road, where everyone else can stay out for a long time. And that's a dangerous spot. We do see Jordan Hand get the launch he was looking for down through the Geico restart zone and go back to green flag racing. Jordan Hand out in front. Dylan Carrier trying to hang on to position number 2 as he works down to the inside here of the 29 rider, Chris Stage. Stage quickly going to work to his outside, though, as he's looking to pull him down the back straightaway. Here comes Landon Burbage, the 6 ride of Brian Underwood right there, ready to pounce as well as the 77 machine of Aiden Lucas. Quickly, the 88 rider, Dylan Carrier, gets scored here. 3 wide for position number 2 of the speedway. 3 wide there for that second spot as Dylan Carrier and that 1 trying to hang on to it. Look out! Almost going around was Brian Underwood. Underwood getting very loose there down through corner number 1 and 2. Lost a ton of momentum and quickly sliding backwards around the top 10. As here comes Danny White looking down to his inside, the 25 of William Connolly right there ready to pounce as well, as here comes that Red Bull Racing ride of Grant Applegate. Applegate up and around the outside here of that 88 machine of Dylan Carrier. Carrier will slide back to 5th now on the speedway. As Jordan Hand back into position number 3, it is Chris Stage and Landon Burbage, though, duking it out here at the front of the field for the race lead. Late in this race in Stage and Burbage battling here at the front as Landon Burbage looking to take this race lead away. He's looking for his first win of the season. Can the HendrickCars.com number 2 ride finally get it done? Can he finally pick up a dump here on the season as he works down to the inside of Chris Stage, and as they continue to battle, here comes the Red Bull Racing number 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate around the outside here of the 29. It's a big run down the back straightaway quickly to the back bumper here of the 2 of Landon Burbage. And some great racing action out there on the speedway. These drivers down across the line. We will see, I believe, 60 laps left to go here in this one. 60 more laps of racing action here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to quickly jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. session right there, giving you guys a good look at the sights and sounds around Kansas Speedway here this afternoon. As out in front, leading the way, is this number 57 ride of Grant Applegate. Applegate having himself a great run and a great performance here. Running into some connection issues here on the speedway, starting to blink quite a bit out there on the racetrack, is William Connolly following him here in position number 2. So Connolly, one of those drivers that came into this race knowing that he needed to pick up a win to put himself into the next round of the playoffs. Now currently scored in position number 2 on the speedway, and playing a little strategy here throughout this race in the 25 ride. Be feeling pretty comfortable out there on the speedway as these drivers inch closer and closer to having to make a green flag pit stop. We did see the number 1 of Jordan Hand and the 88 of Dylan Carrier both come down pit road already as well. They came down pit road on lap 108, so making those green flag pit stops. Different strategy than what these leaders were thinking when they came down during the caution flag there on lap number 99. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out for them, as they're still going to have to make at least one more pit stop. But everybody else, depending on how much longer they can go out there on the speedway, they may have to make 2 more pit stops here on the evening. As you see Matthew Wood start to work his way around the 77 here of Aiden Lucas for position number 3 on the speedway. Is down across the line. That puts up lap 131 here. So these drivers have virtually went about 32 laps under the green flag conditions here. And I think they're all trying to push it, trying to make it here to a point where they can go until the end, make one more pit stop themselves and not having to make another green flag pit stop. So if they can make it without having to come back down pit road again, that can really trap the number 1 and the 88 back there a lap down potentially here on the speedway, as this is going to get very, very tight. It's going to get very interesting. But if we do see a late race caution flag, and could put Jordan Hand or Dylan Carrier back onto the lead lap, as right now they are both scored a lap down here. Jordan is currently in that free pass position. Dylan Carrier currently the second car, 1 lap down out there on the speedway. Are going to need a couple caution flags here to either put themselves back onto the lead lap or back into the thick of things. Are hoping to see one after everyone else comes down for their green flag pit stops here, as 57 of Grant Applegate continuing to lead the way. William Connolly right there with him. We do see Jonathan Gaston make his way down pit road here. So Gaston making that pit stop, as Applegate, the 25 of Connolly, still door to door now. This is going to be the very interesting part here. These drivers making these final green flag pit stops here of this race. You got to be perfect down pit road. You can't make any mistakes. You got to make sure that you're absolutely perfect down there on pit road. But these drivers still able to click up more laps here. So this is putting them into a golden opportunity where they're getting closer and closer, where they only have to go about 32 laps here, 34 laps, on this next set of fuel, and they are already clear here on this 34 lap run. So they've been going for 33, 34 laps under the green flag. They are inching closer and closer to be able to make it here in a one-stop race to the end. But you do see the 57 headed down pit side this time, so he's going to be very, very close. It's going to be very interesting, because lap 99, we did see them come down pit side, but they were able to save fuel until about lap 101, lap 102, before we went back to green flag racing. So virtually they made it 33 laps, maybe 34 laps. I'd say 32 to 34 laps of green flag racing there, and that's exactly where they're at here to get to the end of this race, is another 32 lap run, 33 lap run. So it's gonna be tight here. Drivers may be right there at the edge of being able to make it on fuel or not, but we do see our race leader Grant Applegate, one of the first guys to come down pit road. We also see Matthew Wood now coming down pit side this next lap around, with Aiden Lucas, Landon Burbage, Farrell Robbins, William Connolly, Thomas Horvath. Here comes Josh Crider as well. Ryan Underwood, Noah Blackwell, all down pit side. Ryan Haller down pit side here. So all these drivers making their green flag pit stops, and we'll have to wait and see how this kind of cycles on through, as we haven't seen Chris Stange yet down pit side, or Danny White in the 79, but here they come down pit road. So they were able to extend that a little bit longer here, rolling an extra lap or 2, getting themselves even closer to that cut line here, of being able to make it, as this could be their final pit stop on the day, where drivers like Jordan Hand and for Dylan Carrier, they're both going to have to still come back down pit road at least one more time here in this race. They cannot make it 60 laps or 59 laps here on a tank of fuel, so this is going to get very, very interesting in a quick hurry on where these drivers stand out there on the speedway as they came down pit side probably about 10 laps or so after these drivers did, and I'd say probably more like 8 laps or so, only a few green flag laps in there as well, so they're not too far away from having to make their final pit stop here as well. But the longer they can kind of stay out, maybe keep that extra fuel in their tank, if we do see a late race caution flag, potentially they can have that extra fuel in the tank, or the caution flag could come out. Caution flag out here in this one. Oh brother, this is exactly what Jordan Hand and Dylan Carrier kind of wanted, because this is going to get them back into a golden opportunity here, as they're going to be able to do their final green flag pit stop. They know they're good on gas, but I think everybody here is going to save some fuel during this yellow flag, but they should be good on fuel as well. But is Jordan Hand, Dylan Carrier, they got an extra set of tires back there behind pit wall. I feel like they wanted to roll out there for maybe a few more laps, really let these other drivers burn up their equipment that much more, really use up their stuff there in these final, couple laps out there on the speedway. So we'll take a look back and see what brings up the caution flag, and I do believe it may be the 29 ride running into issues. Chris Stange here on the apron down low. He's just done his green flag pit stop here, so he's just getting rocking and rolling, just getting back up to speed, trying to carry that momentum down on the apron. It just looks like the rear end steps out and around on him here. He's trying to save it, trying to catch it. The car kind of goes around and corrects itself. He washes up the racetrack, and even though he stopped there on the speedway, still on the apron, the racing surface, with other drivers down coming back onto pit lane. If he was stopped 10 feet farther forward, I don't think we see the caution flag there, ladies and gentlemen. So a bit of a strange one, a definite different looking one right there, as we do see Dylan Carrier going to head down pit road. Same with Jordan Hand and Josh Crider all coming down pit side as well. Crider already coming back out, but looks like Dylan Carrier and Jordan Hand both going to come down pit side. They're going to put some tires onto their rides here and rejoin the field. They'll now be back in the 13th and 14th position, I do believe, for the restart, or somewhere around there. So we'll have to wait and see where they'll be officially scored. You're in this one. We do see Noah Blackwell. Unfortunately, it looks like Noah is a couple laps down out there on the speedway. So, unfortunately for Noah Blackwell, being a couple laps down, he's going to need some caution flags, some wave arounds, and some extra opportunities here to work himself back onto the lead lap. And even if he does work himself back onto the lead lap, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to try to make some strategy and work his way to the front of the field, because he was in that win and you're in situation here. He needed to basically win this race to work himself into the next round of the playoffs, and I think that's looking very, very bleak for him here in this one. So that's a tough break there for Noah Blackwell, as I think he may be on the outside looking in here moving forward in our playoffs, and that's a tough spot to be out there on the speedway. But one driver that's trying to race their way in, same situation, came in negative 34 points to the cutoff line, is this 25 rider William Connolly, and Connolly now out in front. He is our race leader. Now, we saw him use some strategy earlier in this race as well. Maybe has an extra set of tires somewhere down on pit wall for this 25 ride. So he may have used them there during that green flag pit stop, maybe saved them here for a little later in the race if we do see another late race caution flag coming out. But as of right now, it's William Connolly at the front of the field leading the way. Matthew Wood there in second. Grant Applegate trying to race his way into the next round of the playoffs. They're in position number 3. Aiden Lucas, Danny White, Thomas Horvath, another contender looking to work his way into the second round of the playoffs. Same with Landon Burbage. Brian Underwood's already punched his ticket with a race win last week, so he's already into the next round. Same with Matthew Wood, our second place driver. Chris Stange trying to race his way into the round of 8. Same with Josh Crider and Jordan Hand, Dylan Carrier, all trying to race their way in on points. Noah Blackwell, another one of those drivers that was in the must-win situation, scored back here in the 16th position. And He said he is unfortunately at least a lap or 2 laps down out there on the speedway, so a tough break there for the NJB Designs number 9 ride here this afternoon, as I think his playoff hopes car kind of looking very, very bleak right now at this moment. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back. The green flag racing here in this one. We have just over 20 more laps left to go here this evening. About 25, 26 more laps left here in this feature event as we go back to green flag racing. So it's a regular Saturday shootout here, a 25-lap shootout for these drivers to duke it out. And that's a little premonition here. The 25 ride, William Connolly looking to pick up the win, looking to try to work his way in as he's one of those must-win drivers here this afternoon. Can he snag one of the final transfer spots into the round of 8 here this afternoon? As the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, we will see him go down to the Geico restart zone in the green flag coming back out here in this one. So the green flag quickly coming back out. A great launch there for the 25 ride. Is 26 more laps left to go. 26 more laps here down across the line as William Connolly leads the way. Here comes Applegate down on the bottom side, but we do see a quick caution flag here. The caution flag coming right back out here in this one. We'll take a look back as it looks like Chris Getz running into some issues here on the restart. So Getz in the one and Jordan Hand tight together, and oh no, Dylan Carrier going to get some contact into that as well. So pair of our playoff hopefuls here this afternoon getting a little contact there, as I'm not sure if they tried to split this number 87. Definitely looks like it. So looks like the one ride going to jump to the outside lane here. Let's take a look as Jordan Hand's going to jump to the outside. Josh Crider down low. The 87 ride I don't think was really anticipating 3 wide down into this little portion of the tri-oval and down into corner number 1. And unfortunately, looks like he's going to come up. He's going to make a little contact here. With the one rider right there on corner entry, gets into that left rear of the one of Jordan Hand, then comes down right into the numbers and into the right rear there of the 88 ride of Dylan Carrier. Hard contact there between the 88 and the 87, then heavy damage there for Chris Getz getting up into the outside fence. Let's jump on board here to the helmet cam of Chris's ride and see what you can see here from the cockpit. There's the contact between him and the one, and then into the 88 and into that corner 1 wall. Heavy damage there for Chris Getz. That's going to unfortunately take him down pit side for what could be an extended period of time, as you heard that motor unfortunately go out the bottom of it there. So I think he's going to be down pit road for quite a while here and potentially for the rest of the evening. We already had Dallas Seward off the racetrack as well in the 38, same with Jaden Porter and Evan Stewart. Nathan Brookover never got things started here this afternoon. We'll see Farrell Robbins back here now. He's a lap or 2 down in this number 76 ride. Noah Blackwell getting a free pass. I do believe this will put Noah back onto the lead lap, so a good break there for Noah Blackwell, getting that caution flag, gets him back into contention and back into the swing of things here as one of our must-win drivers here this afternoon to keep his playoff dreams alive here this afternoon. And Farrell Robbins now the first car 1 lap down, as out in front William Connolly, must-win driver number 2 here this afternoon. Currently scored at the front of the field. He is Grant Applegate, Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas, Thomas Horvath, Danny White, Landon Burbage, Brian Underwood, Chris Getz, and Josh Crider. Our top 10 man there behind him as we'll get these drivers ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to sign them back up here in a quick hurry, as we're going to quickly get a break in. I'm going to get a final drink in here, then we're going to get ready to go back to battle here in this one.
Uh-oh! 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 Everybody! Uh-oh! 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 Engines roaring loud and proud. Track is hot, fans are wild. they spin, rubber burns, corners come and swiftly turn. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Uh-oh, uh-oh, grind.
Alrighty, as we get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. These drivers getting ready to go back to battle for what could be our final restart here on the evening. William Connolly still out in front, continuing to lead the way here as we'll get ready to go back to battle here in this one. 21 more laps left to go as we head down across the start finish line. The pink car getting ready to make another hard left-hand turn back down pit road to unleash this field back into the hands of Connolly himself. Here in this one, a must-win driver continuing to lead the way here in this race is Connolly. Down through the Geico restart zone, gonna get a good launch right there. There's a little bit of tire spin out of the 57 at Applegate. Applegate, though, hanging right there with him, trying to stay to the outside, looking for a big run down into corner number 1. Applegate will try the middle, the 25 sticking down low. Here comes Aiden Lucas in the 77, looking for a big run up there on the top shelf. And here comes Matthew Wood and everybody else trying to work themselves up and towards the front of the field, trying to salvage everything they can, trying to get every point they can, because it could be 1 point of a difference maker into the next round of the playoffs or not. As you do see Jordan Hand trying to work his way back up through the top 10 out there on the speedway. The 1 ride here in that 10th position, working down low underneath that 5 ride of Josh Crider. Here comes Dylan Carrier as well, right down low, trying to work their way up and through the field. As this is definitely not where they wanted to be, but some pitch strategy really not working out in their favor here through that middle portion of this stage. And unfortunately, they're both trying to rebound from it, both trying to work themselves back up and towards the front of the field. This final green flag run, though, could potentially put themselves into a position to maybe work one or both of their way into that championship 8 here, as Connolly looking to try to play spoiler, looking to try to pick up that final playoff spot here this afternoon with a big win here at Kansas, as he's in that must-win situation. But Grant Applegate down low, showing quite a bit of speed here on the afternoon. Didn't get the stage points I think he was looking for, but here he is taking that race lead away from William Connolly. So Connolly slides back to second, and Applegate now out in front. And that's a little bit of a breath of fresh air for either Jordan Hand or Dylan Carrier, or one of the other drivers that are potentially, oh, look out! Oh, Jordan Hand almost going around. Oh, brother, that's a tough break right there for the 1 ride, as Jordan Hand goes from inside the top 10 now back into the 15th position, and no caution flag on the speedway. That may be a huge difference maker here this afternoon, whether or not Jordan Hand makes it through to the next round here on the playoffs or not. Oh man, that's a tough break for him as Applegate continues to lead the way. Connolly there in second. Here comes Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas. Oh, one driver shooting down the racetrack right there. I think that was Ryan Haller out of corner number 2, shooting down onto the apron, able to keep that car pointed the right direction though, as he's got Brian Underwood now to his outside. Here comes Jonathan Gaston there in that 12th position. Josh Ryder there in the 13th spot, trying to keep himself up here in the fight towards the front of the field, but it's all Grant Applegate, the Red Bull Racing ride, looking to try to pick up a big win here this afternoon. After some disappointing runs there in stage 1 and stage number 2, can the 57 run get it done and put himself into victory lane here this afternoon, and locking his way into that championship 8 here later this evening, trying to make his way into the second round of the playoffs as Aiden Lucas there in third. Matthew Wood right there behind him. Wood looking for another big win. Some more bonus points to put into his back pocket moving forward throughout the playoffs. Every one of those bonus points could potentially be a difference maker here, and to work yourself into the next rounds of our playoffs and in towards our championship 4. William Connolly still battling here in that 3rd spot as he works to the outside of the 77 to Aiden Lucas. Some contact though, around goes the 72. The 72 of Jonathan Gaston turned around. Heavy damage there as well for Josh Crider. Crider heavy into this one as well. Heavy damage for the 5 ride. Oh no, this is not what Josh Crider was hoping for. The Josh Crider wins ride running into issues as you take a look here. Looks like the 72 and the 99 going to make a little contact. Down through corner number 3 and 4. Shoves the 72 up into the outside fence and then around the nose of the 99 and parked right in front of the 5 ride and the 76. Farrell Robbins and Josh Crider both getting tied up in that one. Heavy damage for both of these cats out there on the Speedway, man. As we take a look here at the Josh Crider wins the W ride, and just, oh man, heavy hit on the front end and back end there, and then more contact up and into the outside fence there for him and Farrell Robbins. More contact down into the infield here, and definitely not what any of these drivers were hoping for here this afternoon, especially Josh Crider. Let's jump on board here with this 5 machine and take a look here. What he sees from the cockpit is, yeah, all of a sudden that 72 ride's going around and the rear end kicks right out around in front of him, and really nothing he could do, just trying to keep this wheel pointed in the right direction, and honestly very frustrated with how that one turned out. A heartbreaker there for Josh Crider, one of the drivers trying to make his way into the playoffs, trying to keep himself out of trouble here this afternoon. Unfortunately, trouble finding him right there. Let's see if we can get another look here, a different angle of the contact between the 99 and the 72 ride as the 99 closes the gap in a quick hurry and gets a great run. Unfortunately, a little neck code right there. It's the 72 ride bent out of shape up the racetrack over the nose of the 99. That gets him into the fence, and then more contact here, and that's what's going to help turn this 72 ride around. And he's spinning, looping around right here. Josh Crider going to come in, nowhere to go. Heavy contact into him there. Heavy contact there into the rear end as well. And then more damage going down the front straightaway for Josh Crider. Came in as the point leader, as in he had the most points in the yellow going into this race, but now running into some issues. He's able to get that car fixed up. He's staying on the lead lap, so that's a good break for him. But I don't think Josh really earned too many stage points as well. He came in with a pretty good comfort level here this afternoon. Let's take a look here at our point standings as Matthew Wood, Brian Underwood both already locked into that 2nd round. Josh Crider, we just saw get into that wreck. He had 24 points to the positive here over Jordan Hand, Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, and definitely not the run he's been hoping for here in this one, especially after that contact. But I think he's still sitting pretty, but didn't really earn too many stage points here this afternoon. Same with Thomas Horvath. Didn't really earn any stage points. He's running up inside, just outside the top 10 right now. And, for the 54 ride, his playoff hopes could be in limbo right now. It could be that make or break moment out there on the racetrack. Landon Burbage has done a pretty good job. He's picked up some stage points. He's been up there towards the front, so I think he's sitting all right, but you just never know. Same with Grant Applegate. Applegate, who's currently our race leader, only earned 1 stage point through stage 1 and 2, so having that 13-point gap kind of dissipated here after some good drives and good performances there for Dylan Carrier and Jordan Hand. It could be pretty close there between between Grant Applegate, Thomas Horvath, Jordan Hand, Dylan Carrier. It could be very, very close on points here, and it could be all down to how they perform here in these final 10 laps as we do see the lights turn off the official Height Racing base car. That means we're going to have a 10-lap shootout here to the end, as we did see Applegate come down pit side. A few more of these drivers also making their way down pit road. We didn't see Jordan Hand come down pit side or Dylan Carrier. So it's Could be interesting here. Some drivers may have had some extra tires back there behind pit wall. When you look at the 57 to Grant Applegate, Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas, William Connolly, maybe they had that extra strategy worked out. Maybe had that extra set of tires, or maybe they came down pit road making sure they got enough fuel into their rides to make sure that they could survive here the final few laps of this race. It's going to be interesting to see here, Chad. It's going to be very wild to watch how this one plays out. As it's anyone's game right now. Anybody could put themselves in the victory lane, and if it's one of our playoff drivers, could be a huge make or break moment out there on the speedway as we get ready to go back to green flag racing down through the Geico restart zone. It's Danny White and Brian Underwood, 1 and 2 on the speedway. A great launch right there for the 79 ride of Danny White. White with a great restart, and quickly see these drivers trying to work their way up and quickly to the back bumper of that 79 machine. But Danny White out in front, going to lead us out at quarter number 2 is Brian Underwood there in second. Here comes Dylan Carrier and Chris Stange battling door to door down into corner number 3. More door to door, 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Look out, Grant Applegate. Oh, brother, Applegate hard into the outside fence. Hard contact there for Grant Applegate. Around goes the 25 ride, and the caution flag will come back out. So the caution flag coming back out here in this one. Applegate we saw going around. We also saw the 25 go for a loop-de-loop. I do believe we saw Jordan Hand also up and into the outside fence here. See if we can take a look here at Jordan Hand. His hand, I think, got squeezed up the racetrack, and that's kind of where the 25 ride starts to go around as they're tight together. You see the 57 slideways back there behind him, but maybe just the 25 getting loose down low, but you see the 1 ride also getting loose there on the outside lane. He's got some pretty good rear end damage here. I do believe Jordan Hand was able to keep himself out of the wall there. So that's a good break for Jordan Hand. He was able to keep himself out of trouble and out of the outside fence, but the scene can't be said for Grant Applegate, Jonathan Gaston as they come together up on the outside lane. Take a look here at Applegate. Is Applegate's just going to go around here, man? I think he's just looking for a big run, trying to use all the momentum he can to get to the outside of that 3-wide battle, and a bunch of dirty air just gets it loose. Gets a couple big hits right there. The 2-ride of land in Burbage, heavy front end damage. See Josh Crider going through another slide through the grass right there after contact with that 57 as well. So just going to add in another layer here to the onion as we're peeling it away lap by lap by lap, but things are looking very, very interesting. Things are getting and growing more and more intense with every single lap that gets clicked down. And it's out in front, Danny White, a non-playoff driver, leading the way. Brian Underwood, who's already advanced into the second round of our playoffs here with a win last week, looking to go back-to-back. Can Underwood pick up another big win here on the season in the Gremlin 6 ride, rolling there in second. Dylan Carrier came into this race with a 1-point advantage between himself and that cut line, knowing that he was in that 8th position, had to come out here and had to get a good run, and still being up here inside the top 3 on the speedway, giving him a shot here this afternoon of advancing into that round of 8. Chris Stange has been one of the best drivers out here on the evening, picking up stage win number 1, coming home in second there in stage number 2. Currently finds himself here in that 4th spot with Noah Blackwell, one of our must-win drivers. We just saw Noah not too long ago, was one of those drivers a lap down on the speedway, was able to get the free pass, the wave around back onto the lead lap, and here he is inside the top 5. Does he have a shot? Can he pick up the win and maybe work his way into that final playoff spot here in this one? Matthew Wood already locked his way in with a big win in playoff race number 1. He was able to get the win there in our first playoff race at Watkins Glen, and that number 16 ride sitting pretty out there on the speedway, knowing that he's locked in, doesn't have to battle here for these points or have his worries or hopes up in the air here this afternoon. As Aiden Lucas on the outside of the playoffs looking in, sitting there in 7th. Had a very solid run all day long. Jordan Hand, who's also been very, very fast, one of the best cars here this afternoon, but some late race pitch strategies and everything else kind of making things a little tougher here for the 1 ride of Jordan Hand after winning stage number 2, coming home second there in stage 1. Has done what he's kind of needed to do points-wise now just has to finish this race off in a good position to try to lock his way into the playoffs here as well. Thomas Horvath there, one of our playoff hopefuls, in the 9th position, and Ryan Haller, one of our non-playoff drivers, back there in 10th. William Connolly, one of the playoff drivers in a must-win situation, must pick up the win here, back in the 11th position. Josh Crider sitting pretty coming into the evening. Now, after a couple stages and everything else, definitely minding his P's and Q's, trying to keep himself out of trouble and just trying to finish this race off and work his way into the next stage here. Same with Landon Burbage, Grant Applegate, both trying to work their way in, as well as Jonathan Gaston, Chris Getz going to bring up the rear of the lead lap drivers. Farrell Robbins, first car a lap down out there on the speedway. Dallas Seward, Jaden Porter, Evan Stewart, Nathan Brookover, all down behind pit wall as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. And what could be our final restart of the day? Is this the final restart, or do we see another caution flag fly here and potentially some NASCAR overtime here to finish off the evening? We're going to get ready to find out as, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the show, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to set these drivers back loose. Playoff hopes are on the line. Who will work their way into the round of 8 here this afternoon, and who will be the 4 drivers eliminated from our premium Stunt Car Racing League playoffs? Again, Danny White, another great restart down through the Geico restart zone, and quickly the 79 ride out in front, looking to carry that momentum and that speed down through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. Brian Underwood, Dylan Carrier, Chris Stange, and everyone else in tow, trying to work their way to the front of the field. Here comes the 25 of William Connolly. Connolly now into the 8th position as look out the 1 rider, Jordan Hand, sliding backwards. Hand falling back here in a quick hurry. The 1 ride definitely hurting here and not having any fresh tires left here for the 1 ride. Is kind of a sit and duck out there on the racetrack right now, and unfortunately continuing to slide farther and farther back, and that could be potentially his playoff hopes getting smaller and smaller out of the front windshield as William Connolly continued to try to make some moves, slipping, sliding around, trying to get this 25 right up to the front of the field. Same with Noah Blackwell, is now the 88 of Dylan Carrier sliding back as well into that 6th position as here comes the Beyond Detailing 77 ride of Aiden Lucas into the 5th position, but it's Danny White out in front. Danny White leading the way. Here comes Matthew Wood. Wood there in position number 2, working to the back bumper of the Jack Daniels number 79 ride. Looking to hold him off as around goes Aiden Lucas. Caution flag back on the speedway. Caution flag back out here. A bunch of drivers collected. One of those being Landon Burbage and the 5 ride of Josh Crider also getting collected in this one. Thomas Horvath in there as well. A bunch of our playoff drivers getting some heavy damage down the back straightaway. Oh man, this is just going to make things more intense and more interesting late in this race. As let's take a look here, as maybe a little 3 wide, maybe a little contact to really get things started here for this number 77 ride. Watch that pink ride down low, bottom right here. There is contact between him and Chris Stange. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. As not sure if Stange kind of comes up or if there's just contact here with the 6 ride. See Ian get a great run down low. The 29 does not get a good run. Unfortunately, gets loose on corner exit, and both kind of just meet in the middle right there. They make some coincidental contact. Unfortunately, just the wrong place, wrong time, and that spins this 77 ride around. Brian Underwood does a great job to avoid it. Same with the 88 and the 9 ride there, but unfortunately for the number 2, nowhere to go. Heavy damage there for the 5 ride as well as he slams into the front end of Aiden Lucas. So heavy damage for Landon Burbage, heavy damage for Josh Crider. You see the 72 of Gaston getting hard underneath that 99 ride, actually launching him into the air there. He lands down on top the 72 and the 5 ride. They continue to ride down into corner number 4 here as, man, definitely not the run that this number 5 was hoping for here this afternoon. Trying to work his way through this, hoping to get through it, trying to aim for the middle. Unfortunately, ran out of room there in a quick hurry, and heavy contact, heavy damage for all these drivers. I'm interested to see how much damage is potentially on the 54 54 ride of Thomas Horvath. As Horvath was trying to work his way through there, and Horvath, unfortunately, does get collected here. I'm just not sure how much damage he really gets. Pretty good right front contact there between himself and the 2 right in the 99 right there. So this will make things even more interesting now. Drivers struggling, running out of tires. Drivers trying to make it on fuel. Now drivers running into some, incidences out there on the speedway, having damage on their rides. As Josh Crider back here now in the 12th position. Landon Burbage right there with them. You do see Thomas Horvath a little farther back as he's trying to get rocking and rolling in the 54 ride. All these drivers running into issues here late in the race. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Jordan Hand back up into 9th. Dylan Carrier there in 5th. They were the 2 drivers that came into this race. Only 1 point separating them. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to play out. You do see the 88 down on the apron. You see the 25 down on the grass here. Take a look here. Where is the 25? William Connolly, he stopped here on the racetrack. I'm not sure why, but he stopped out there on the speedway. This is interesting. This is interesting, chat. Oh, there's no green, white, checkered. Oh no. There's no NASCAR overtime. Oh, brother. No NASCAR overtime, and it's going to be the 79 ride of Danny White who picks up the checkered flag here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Danny White picking up the win. No NASCAR overtime here. That one caught us off guard right there. We're used to having NASCAR overtime here, but no overtime this afternoon, and that moves Danny White into the winner's circle. Danny White picking up the checkered flag. What a run and what a drive here late in the race for the Jack Daniels 79 machine. That last-ditch effort down the back straightaway to keep Matthew Wood back there behind him before that caution flag. And he's able to keep that race lead and put himself into victory lane. Wood's going to come home in 2nd. Chris Stange there in 3rd. Brian Underwood going to come home in 4th with Dylan Carrier in that 5th position. Noah Blackwell back there in 6th, William Connolly in 7th, Grant Applegate in 8th, and Jordan Hand into the 9th position. Chris Getz rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway as Danny White's going to burn down the house. He's going to celebrate here after picking up a big win here this afternoon for the number 79 ride. The Jack Daniels machine picking up the win. Wowzers. We were getting prepped and ready for some NASCAR overtime. We were getting ready for more thrilling excitement here on the afternoon, but no overtime here. So that's how this one's going to finish off. That is absolutely insane. As Dylan says, race over, no overtime. Brother, that is tough. I don't know. We've had overtimes here in the league before, have we not? Have we not had overtimes? Was that just accidentally skipped or something here this afternoon? I don't know. That seems super strange to me as, hey, it's Kev says, of course, another top 5 performance ruined in the last few laps. Yeah, it's a tough break out there for you, Holler. It says, I can't get a break this season. Hey, man, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles out there, brother. And hopefully bad luck this year maybe turns into some really good luck next year or next season. Maybe it turns into some even better luck for you. But, man, that is a big win for Danny White, a huge heartbreaker for a lot of these other drivers that were maybe hoping to try to get that last-ditch effort, that last opportunity to gain that 1 or 2 positions out there on the speedway, or trying to gain that little bit to work themselves into the next round of the playoffs. And when I look back here and I see Thomas Horvath finishing in that 15th position, it was a really tough day for the 54 ride. The points are going to be very, very close here for a lot of drivers, man. I think with the run from Applegate there and Dylan Carrier, Jordan Hand, it's going to be really close between those 3 drivers, and you throw in Thomas Horvath, who I don't think got any stage points here this evening and came home in that 15th position. he could be, unfortunately, on the outside of the playoffs looking in here, as we're going to get ready to pull in one of our non-playoff drivers who was able to pick up a win here this afternoon. Danny White, as Danny picking up the checkered flag. He's going to be pumped about this one. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Danny, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got you, brother.
Danny, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one, man. A lot of different, moves out there on the speedway. Drivers taking some different strategies, and then all of a sudden, late in this one, you find yourself out in front. You're able to get a couple really good restarts there, where you're able to hold these guys off for the couple laps you needed to, and then right there at the end, being able to make those last-ditch efforts, throwing those big blocks on the 16 right of Matthew Wood to keep him at bay down the back straightaway, and back there behind you, the caution flag comes back out, no NASCAR overtime, and you're able to put yourself up here into victory lane under the yellow flag, man. And it doesn't matter how you get them, it means that you got them, and you got this one here tonight, man. Take us back through it, and the excitement right now for you, all the feelings right now for yourself and the 79 crew, this win this afternoon.
Oh, dude, just tickled. It's been a frustrating season for me. Just not running good, and to finally get one. Was running, just kind of average the first part of the race, and then the second to last run, it's like my car came to life, and I was able to run in the top 5. And then when I stayed out, when everybody else came in, and I knew if I had some clean air, I was going to have a good shot at it. And Wood, one more lap, he might have got me, but I done made up my mind he's going to have a heck of a time passing me. But that was a lot of fun. He could have right hooked me there. Wood always races pretty daggum clean, and I appreciate him staying clean there. But fun race, man. It's a super fun race.
Absolutely super fun race, a lot of different strategies, and a few late race caution flags to really spice things up here late in this race, knowing that it's an elimination race, man. How do you come into a race like this knowing that you're unfortunately not part of the playoffs here, but you're still wanting to run out there, have good runs, good performances, and get everything you can, including some trophies here to finish off the season? How do you attack a race like this, knowing that you could play spoiler to a lot of other drivers' hopes and dreams here this afternoon to make it into the next round of the playoffs?
Really is a tough thing to manage through. Early in the race, I was behind the 29 car. Didn't want to race him hard. I know that he was, he's racing for that final position. And then finally got to the point where I couldn't ride behind him anymore. But, it's a fine line. You want to stay clean for those guys. You want them to have an opportunity. At the same time, I ain't got nothing to lose. So if I can go out and get a win, I want to try to get a win. And to be in this position, I mean, you can't beat it.
Absolutely, brother. As you park that 79 right up here on the front straightaway, man, does this kind of, solidify yourself as one of those drivers that, got off to a bad start here to the season, had some tough luck? You think that luck's finally behind you? Do you think you can kind of put all those previous races there in the rearview mirror, forget about them, and now just use this to keep on moving forward, keep this momentum growing, and keep on getting, more and more great finishes here, more on a consistent basis out of the 79 machine?
I mean, look, we got a lot of great drivers in this league. I'm not going to lie about it. I get frustrated with some of them, but there's 8-10 guys here that are really, really good. So to even be able to race with them tonight, I'm proud of that. Proud to finally put my car in the winner's circle. But it's just good drivers, good league, and this is a lot of fun tonight.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Danny, you pick up the win here at Kansas Speedway, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here this afternoon?
I mean, obviously, I want to thank the league and then my teammates, Jonathan Gaston and Farrell. Been with me all year. We have a great time just kind of hanging out, strategizing together. Usually it's Jonathan getting one of these, at least one a season, so I'm happy to finally run up front, but been great teammates to me this year.
Absolutely, brother. Well, teamwork makes the dream work, and the dream comes alive for you here this afternoon as you park the 79 machine up here in victory lane. We saw your teammates celebrating there with you a little bit down on the racetrack, paying the, giving you the high fives and waving to you from the driver's seats there on the speedway. And we see Jonathan jumping up into the chat as well, cheering you on here, and he's pretty pumped seeing you get this win as well, man, as that was a heck of a run, heck of a drive, and we're all super proud, super happy to see you up here in victory lane this season.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all you guys do.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Danny, congrats on the win. Congrats on the great race, and hopefully more and more trips for you here up into the broadcast booth here to finish off this season, brother. As a great run, great performance, great win, and we can't wait to see you back out there next Saturday.
I appreciate it, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Danny White as Danny picks up the checkered flag and pulls the 79 ride up and into victory lane. Jonathan says, Danny gets the W. Old dogs can run with the young guys. Yes, Sirski, yes, you can. The young boys, they don't know what they got in store now. You know, they've maybe woken up a beast there with Danny White, maybe waking him up a little bit, maybe getting those old bones moving a little bit more, and maybe the old guys will be putting on more and more wicked shows like they did here this afternoon, as we're going to get ready to pull in one of the young guys, one of the young cats here, one of the top drivers here on the evening, Matthew Wood. Wood coming home in second, looking for his, I don't even know how many wins he has now on the season, 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know how many he has. He has a lot, and he was right there looking for another one, but man, what a run, what a drive right there, as we're going to pull in Matthew Wood here in just a second. As oh no, I think that is the list right there of drivers who did not transfer through. Thomas Horvath, Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, and Chris Getz are the 4 drivers to not advance into the round of 8 here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about how, you know, they did not have a great run. They did not have that very, very good, you know, race that they were really looking for. And you know, Grant Applegate was another one that was kind of right there. Didn't really earn too many stage points. Didn't really have that great of a race. He led some laps there throughout the evening and everything else, but with no stage points, kind of backed him back towards Dylan Carrier and Jordan Hand, and same with Thomas Horvath there as well. Horvath, unfortunately, no stage points. That 20 points that he had, the 19-point advantage between him and that cut line, all of a sudden becomes evaporated. And then the run there late in this race, not getting the run that he was hoping for. We figured after that last caution flag, things finishing out and him coming home in the 15th position, that it was going to be a very, very close call between him and Grant Applegate, Dylan Carrier, and Jordan Hand for that final transfer spot into the playoffs, and it looks like Jordan Hand's work and efforts here this afternoon, it launches him into the next round of the playoffs. Unfortunately for, you know, Thomas Horvath, let's pull the back up here, as Horvath came into the night, scored as the second highest in points here this evening, and unfortunately a massive collapse here on the day for Thomas, as he goes from 19 points above the cut line to being one of the 4 drivers eliminated here this afternoon. Heartbreaking there for Thomas, but you know, exhilarating finishes there, an exhilarating way to work your way into the next round for Jordan Hand and Dylan Carrier and Grant Applegate. So they're definitely going to be happy about that one, but I'm sure Thomas Horvath going to be gutted about the performance he had here this afternoon after a rough day at Kansas. He's not going to be looking forward to coming back here next year, as we're going to get ready to pull in our second place finisher here on the evening, the number 16 of Matthew Wood, is Wood waiting patiently down pit side. We're going to pull Matthew up and into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yup.
Matthew, man, another good run, another good race here for you, and almost another checkered flag for the 16 ride. Not the dominant car that we're usually used to seeing you have here at these 1.5 mile speedways, but you know, we saw you battling strong here throughout the evening, you know, throughout the field, and then late in this race, you're able to get back up towards the front of the pack. You're trying to make some moves late in this race, and right down the back straightaway, trying to find a way around that 79 right of Danny White. Danny making his car multiple lanes wide there, blocking you, throwing those blocks, making sure you stay behind him, and it works out perfectly for him as the caution flag comes out. No NASCAR overtimes, and you have to settle in for a second place finish here this afternoon. No extra opportunities here to try to beat that 79 for the win.
Yeah, first of all, congrats to Danny. I mean, he raced me clean. That was awesome. He earned it. as well as Stange P3. He was I couldn't do anything with him in the beginning. The first half of the race, I couldn't figure it out. Don't know exactly what I was doing in the first half, but I was doing something pretty bad wrong with the tires. I'm stuttering. I can't even say stuttering. I'm stuttering so hard tonight. I don't know why. I do have cotton mouth right now. It's like my whole entire mouth feels like cotton. It's so weird.
Well, I'd
Anyway.
rather that than you having a stroke or something, brother. So.
But yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I was feeling kind of bad. I had to use the bathroom. So I think it was the caution of stage 2. I went up, used the bathroom real quick, kept from being a lap down by about 9 seconds, caught back up, and then after that, it just clicked. Got all the way up to, I think, 3rd behind Conley and Grant. Ran them down, was probably going to pass them, but unfortunately we had to pit. And I got perfect pit stop, me and Aiden. And then, yeah, got up there, and Grant was having a great run. And I was just hoping that Grant could pass Conley, because I knew he's part of my team. He's part of I've known him for so long now. And I knew he had to win well, he didn't have to, but he needed to lock himself in over Conley. And I knew that he didn't quite have the points, I didn't think. So, he got out ahead of him. I was hoping. Me and Aiden were behind him. Everything was looking good. Another caution comes out. And we take the tires that we had saved in stage 2. Nobody else had. We thought it was a good idea. But unfortunately Grant got sideways, and somehow, like, if you go back and look at, I think, lap 158, and you look at Aiden's onboard, that's the craziest onboard I've ever seen, and probably deserves to be on iRacing's top 10. I'm not kidding. That was insane. But yeah, the last point is that, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing from Brian. Like, this stuff cannot happen. He gave us unlimited fast repairs by accident, and I thought, that's just a little biggie. I mean, people were definitely abusing that, and that can alter the playoffs. Because if somebody's below the cut line and they're just consistently using these fast repairs, they're going to get around people who are trying to abide by the rules, and they're afraid that, hey, I just don't want to. And then they're the ones getting screwed for following the rules if that happened. And then at the end of the race, like, I don't care that I finished second. I'm happy for Danny. I literally just told him, I'm going to feel bad if I passed you. I was going to feel so bad for passing Danny because I love the guy. Right. But it's annoying that I struggled all that much for 2 hours. You get up to the front and the lobby is screwed up in not one way, but two. And now nobody else that needed to gain a couple of positions didn't get that chance because, well, the lobby was screwed up twice. So now, if you got screwed over from that wreck and lost a couple of positions, and you need more positions, well, now everyone's confused. And I don't think this is the first time this has happened this season, and probably won't be the last for the seasons to come. But I mean, mistakes happen, but that was pretty. that was pretty bad. But again, I don't really care all too much for myself. I'm just worried for others. I mean, I'm annoyed, very annoyed, but I'm happy for Danny.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Definitely a tough break.
Thought you were
there
gone
for
for a minute.
everybody, but man, a great run, great drive right there for you. You're able to still bring that car home in one piece and up in position number 2, and obviously not having to stress too much here this afternoon yourself, knowing that you have that win from Watkins Glen. You were in the playoffs. You were in the next round. You didn't have to worry about the points or what happened out there on the racetrack as you're able to work your way on through. But what could have been an extra, 5 bonus points to help you throughout the next round and the round after that towards our championship race. But man, Matthew, another good run, another good performance as you're able to bring that 16 right back up here onto the podium with another good run and another good finish here on the season.
All right, yeah. Thank the Lord, and thank you for what you do.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congrats on the great run, and we can't wait to see you back out there next week.
All right, thank you. You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Matthew Wood as Matthew coming home there in position number 2 here this afternoon. As even if there was a green-white checkered, nothing changes. Yeah, probably pretty much nothing would have changed there. Horvath is 7 points out, even with green-white checkered. He didn't have the spots to gain. Yeah, true that. I think Horvath's performance is definitely a rough one here for him tonight. I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe another couple caution flags and a couple more green-white checkers. Maybe more drivers would have got wrecked out or something. Maybe would have been able to. But, I mean, at the same point in time, everybody had to deal with it as well as he did. So, just, you know, unfortunate. It happens. It catches us off guard. I'm sure it probably caught a lot of these drivers off guard. And regardless, you know, the checkered flag came out and that's how she finishes in this one, as a tough break there for Matthew, not getting a shot to be able to try to go pick up the win here, or for Horvath or some of the other drivers to duke it out. But we do know one driver that was pretty good here all evening long. He might have wanted a green-white checker, because I think he wanted to maybe try to get this win here this afternoon. It's Chris Stange. Chris coming home in position number 3 here this afternoon. Let's pull Chris up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Chris, man, a great run, a great performance from you all day long. And basically in order here, stage 1 coming home in first, stage 2 coming home in second, and this final stage coming home in that third and final podium position, and doing everything you really need to do here this evening besides picking up the win. You know, able to work yourself into the next round of the playoffs, man. Take us back through this one and what's going through your mind right now after all the craziness there late in this race and all the different pitch strategies and everything else, and you're able to hang on and be able to put that 29 right into the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, what can I say? We did what we had to do. We maximized our points the best we could, and like you said, able to move through to the next round. This race was kind of a big question mark for me. It's not typically a place I do really well at, but the car felt good and we were able to stay up front, and, you know, through the cautions and different things, just was able to have some track position there right at the end, hold on to it, and kind of sneak home with this third place. Yeah, not much to say other than I guess I got kind of lucky. Definitely had an issue coming off a pit road there and brought out that caution, and I really hate that I did. I wanted to see that play out, green flag, but I don't know. iRacing deemed it necessary to throw a caution apparently, and so it stacked us all back up, and yeah, and then the chaos ensued there at the end, and we were just lucky enough to be there to snake a podium, so we'll take it and get ready to move on these next few races. Some good tracks coming up for me. So just look on to next week and hope we make the Final Four and see if we can't go defend this championship.
Absolutely, brother. Definitely the goal here for the next few races, trying to earn as many points and stage points and great finishes just like you did here this evening. And hopefully we'll see you reenact that and keep working your way through these rounds and trying to work your way back into that championship races. Chris, a great run and a great drive for you here this afternoon, man. Who'd you like to thank for such a great performance here this evening?
Yeah, big shout out to our admin crew. You know, without them, we wouldn't have this league, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy all our competitors there. It was a fun race. And a big shout out to you. Thanks for putting on these broadcasts, and big shout out to the fans that come out and cheer us on every week. And then I got to give a shout out to my Fueled Up crew behind the scenes. Great group of guys and all our sponsors there. And then finally to my family that backs me financially and allows me to come out here and put on a show.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there in action as part of our round of 8 next Saturday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Chris Stange. A Stange coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for that number 29 machine. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. A huge shout out again to Danny White picking up the checkered flag, pulling that 79 right up and into victory lane, man. A great run and a great drive there for Danny White this evening. A heck of a run, a heck of a performance by all these drivers. Now we'll have, and we know the points here, unfortunately, for Thomas Horvath, Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, and Chris Getz all being eliminated from the playoffs here this afternoon. But a great piece of driving here in this race by Dylan Carrier, able to keep himself in there. He was only 1 point to the good here coming into this race. He was able to lock his way into the next round of the playoffs. And Jordan Hand, who was 1 point on the outside looking in, was able to work his way into the next round as well. So huge shout out to those guys. Huge shout out to all of our playoff performers here this afternoon, good or bad, putting on a great drive and a great run for us here all evening long. And a huge shout out to all the drivers, man, showing up and showing the love here throughout the evening. And huge shout out again to Danny White picking up the win and pulling the 79 Jack Daniels ride up and in to victory lane here this afternoon. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And we'll see you guys back in here tomorrow evening for a double header tomorrow, but potentially a triple header tomorrow afternoon. So I'll see you guys back in here in the broadcast booth, and can't wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody. Engines roaring loud and proud. Track is hot, fans are wild. Speeds are climbing high and fast. Racing dreams are built to last. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Grind. Uh-oh. Racing grind. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every second by a strand. Fuel and tires, quick change. Back to track and destined range. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every second by a strand. Fuel and tires, quick change. Back to track and destined range. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Uh-oh. Grind. Uh-oh. Racing grind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Race to the finish line. Feel the